Are we on? I think we're on. Way! What's going on, everybody? Long time no see. I've got lots of things to talk about on this stream. It has been a while off the YouTube and the content and all of that stuff, but it's good finally to be in a position where I can finally do another stream and sort of answer whatever questions that might be coming this way. Well, how long has it been since I've last streamed? I think last stream or any bit of content on the channel was probably in May, end of May, and it's almost the end of July. Is the audio working? Yes. Or is it? Just let me know if it's too quiet or too loud. Yeah, like this isn't going to be anything huge. It's honestly just a bit of a return stream. Like I'm slowly getting back into the rhythm of life, but content as well. I want that to come back in some format, but it won't be anything like immediate where I come back with like 15 bits of content or whatever, sort of like last year. It won't be that at all. But yeah, cool to see quite a number of people that were waiting in the preview. The only reason I started a bit late was because in all honesty, this not that I've probably used this laptop a handful of times in the last 2 months. Haven't really had any genuine need to use it. So a couple of things I was just getting sorted last minute, such as the microphone audio, like this mic. I don't think I've used in a while. Oh, we got a donation. I'll take whatever donations we can get. I'm not sure if I deserve them, but I'll take them considering I haven't earned as much over the last few months. I've got a bit of savings and all that, but definitely can use whatever bit of cash I can get on this stream. Biggest comeback since, I don't know. Like I don't want this to be like a huge thing. Like, remember when KSI left the side, man, he made a video sort of announcing it, trying to get views off it. This isn't that. I could have easily milked it more if I wanted to, or milked like I'm leaving YouTube for a bit, or I'm quitting YouTube. I saw quite a number of comments on the last video I posted, which all were directed towards the absence, and people either thought I gave up, died. I'll read some of the others actually later on the stream. This won't be like a massively long stream. It'll probably just be just chatting. I haven't even done one of these in I'd probably say this year, to be honest. Let's just see some of the comments, and I'll answer whatever questions come my way that I can answer. I'll also just make mention that I'm streaming on Instagram because, as far as I'm aware, a lot of people still think I am like kind of not even alive on Instagram. I've only just started using Instagram in the last week. I took probably 7 weeks off using pretty much all social media. So I'm back on Instagram. So if you want to send me DMs and shit, I'll be back, and I'll be able to answer what people want answered. But yeah, let's put a story up. We'll get whatever people want to join. Great to see the amount of people in. I wasn't too sure what expectations I had in terms of numbers, but in terms of overall numbers are coming back to YouTube. I don't know how the community is going or how active it is. So yeah, I might set my expectations a little lowered. It's more just getting back into the rhythm, slowly getting back into the rhythm, and actually having some fun in doing it and enjoyment. Because throughout the whole year, I don't know if it was noticeable or not, but there was really none of that. I never really felt at all in my zone. And I think this was kind of this was just evidently was going to happen at some stage where I was going to take a break. It wasn't like a planned one; it just happened. So I'll just quickly read the playlist guy. 46-month member. Yeah, I mean the members. I haven't really checked anything to do with the members much this year because I haven't provided much members content since January. But those that are still members, tell you what. Hopefully you haven't been just rinsing your money for no reason. But I am back, so hopefully I can reward the members in some way. I will try and do that when I get around to. So Sportsnut and Sarah, thank you for the memberships and the comments. Huge to you back. Yeah, it's good to see you still around, kicking about. And Sarah, well, the thing that's the Coast Club. It's a bit odd, like the fact that like if you'd have told me last year, oh yeah, you were to take a 2-month content break. I don't think I've made much content over the off season, to be honest. But that was the off season. I thought I'd just be back naturally be back to how things were in previous footy seasons, but that never was the case. And then it got to a stage, I think it was because it was the footy season, it made me feel even more out of place. I just didn't feel like I had an identity with the content. The content was very shit, in my opinion, very stale. I didn't enjoy making it. There were days where I would I actually couldn't even think about the thought of filming and posting. I only did it because I thought, well, if I didn't do it, how am I going to explain myself with like the footy tips and stuff? And yeah, very inconsistent. Put them out, wouldn't check the comments, wouldn't really be very active with the community at all. Didn't really do any of these sort of live streams. And then I got to a stage where I don't know, just kept getting worse for mental health. And then that's where I ended up stopping the content. But we'll be a bit more, we'll elaborate a little bit more on that in the duration of the stream. If anyone has a question, is the audio a bit quiet? What does it sound like on YouTube? Let me just check. Don't spam on the stream, please. I do need to also put up a story. I'll do that in a sec. Got a membership. Thank you for the membership. All right, Aiden Kepler. I think you might have been one back in the day. Fair enough if you decided to cancel, because I don't think I would have earned really any new memberships throughout the entire year, let alone when I wasn't making content. How is the audio? If it needs to be louder, I can adjust that. Have you been tipping? I talk about my mental health, and the first thing you talk about or ask me is have I been tipping? I mean, yeah, I've been tipping on the ESPN tipping app because I don't want to have a really shit score, but that's not been the even top 50 of my worries. Let me do that story as well. Just quickly send a couple of things, so I'll check the messages. Again, this is a pretty basic-ish sort of setup, nothing more to it. Audio's fine. Did you go to Fiji? No, I didn't. I probably would have made some form of post, and I wasn't really going to want to waste a Fiji trip in the state I was. And I've always said this, when I do end up going, which will probably be November-ish, maybe next year, I don't know, then I can consider for sure. I've got to save this fucking photo. Then I'll consider for sure making some form of video surrounding the trip, because some people might not know this, but during this year, where I didn't really make much mention of it, to be honest, at least not on YouTube, I did win a free trip to Fiji at the footy, at the St Kilda Richmond game, which was cool. It definitely came at a surprise. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Audio needs to be louder. I can turn it up though. I think it might need to go up a little bit. So let me do that. I have had to actually reinstall OBS as a new update. So all of the features are a little bit different. So I'm trying to figure out how to actually, here we go. I'll increase the audio by, let's just go like 2 or 3. I did do a TikTok stream yesterday, kind of an unannounced TikTok stream. I sort of felt, because obviously it was going to be slow, as I said before, like believe it or not, I didn't go to a footy game for maybe 3 or 4 weeks because the actual thought of going to the footy or even watching footy at that matter had me feel almost depressed. So I only started going to footy games again very recently. I think the St Kilda North game was the first game I went to in a month. And obviously you haven't really seen many of the vlogs or any of the other real fun stuff I do at the Saints games because I just didn't really at all feel up to it. I mean, we have Sydney this week, and I'm still not 100%, but I'm more on the probably filming stuff at the game. But I'm not going to put pressure on it all to happen straight away because I want it to be a different way of approaching everything from this point onwards, so I don't feel the way I did before. And I want more time to do other things. I don't want to just burn myself out unnecessarily with all that stuff. I'm glad to have been a member for 12 months. I think you missed my member. Well, I appreciate the member message. I'm still going down because I haven't actually responded to a lot of these comments, and I want to do that. But that TikTok stream, if anyone's on that, let me know. Put like an F in the chat. Don't spam it though, because that was good. Again, it was unplanned. I just put it up, and people just started joining, for God's sakes. Okay, what should my text be for the... I don't want it to be like, I don't know, all the attention to be given to me. Everyone, hey, look, I'm making a big return. Everyone feel sorry for me. I don't want that. I want to, how do I put this on my story? That's just like letting people know I'm live. I'm trying to think of what to say. Um, so the punishment is go to the Saints game and wear Sydney stuff and sit with Sydney fans. Well, that's not something I'm going to do yet, the punishments. The fans want you to provide your tip. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do my tips for the week because I'm not going to make a video on the tips this week, but more than likely next week I'll bring them back despite it only being like a 7 weeks till the end of the season. So people have been missing out, and not just people online, but people in person. Like I was actively avoiding going to footy games for the sole purpose of not really wanting to see anyone, not because I didn't like the fans. It's more the opposite. I just felt really bad for my absence. And then when I saw them in person, some of them were like, "Oh, what's happening with the tips and all that?" So they still care about the tips. So I don't know why they care. I mean, my tips are no better than anyone else's. He's back. Says, yeah, I am back. I'm slowly going to return, so I'm not sure exactly what every bit of content's going to look like, but just having more of a plan surrounding the structure of doing the videos and having this actually be something that I can see myself sustaining for longer than just because obviously I was doing it for a while, but yeah, definitely I didn't very many things I wasn't doing particularly I wasn't great at, and I just spent too much time worrying about content, and over the last few weeks and this year, I guess, but more so the last few weeks, I've just taken more time to spend doing other things, more so just being more involved with family stuff and stuff like that, which is important. Going to keep scrolling down. You haven't done any tipping. Yeah, I know I haven't, Shannon. We're talking about, I guess, the reasoning behind. But even before, I said before, even before, during the time I was doing the tipping, from like rounds 1 to 11, I'm sure you guys probably could notice as well. I just felt really shit about the whole process of making them, and I felt like I had to, and I wasn't opening YouTube analytics, YouTube comments. I was just basically putting it up and just kind of going back to avoiding everything in a way. So they didn't really feel genuine, like I was making content that I enjoyed. So from this point onwards, hopefully that's a lot different, which should be. For now, I'm going to skip all the footy questions. I might leave that to later. Maybe there'll be a 30-minute period where I'll answer whatever footy related questions. But this is more of not to make it all about me, but more about like what, people obviously were curious and concerned. Some were quite concerned, which, again, I feel bad about the fact that they get so concerned, but I'm appreciative as well. Long time no stream. How have you been? Well, I've been lately, Paul. Let's be honest with you. If I was still deteriorating, I wouldn't have come back on the stream. It would have been worse. It would have been even more difficult. So I had to make some semi-difficult decision, do things that would certainly didn't think I could see myself doing a few weeks ago that I've now done to lead me to at least making a stream again, having just a much better mental attitude towards a lot of things. Still not fixed though, not fixed at all. I'm not 100%, but enough to be streaming and taking it slow for starters. Have you been going to the footy? Says Pat Kaz. Not really. Lately, yeah, more so, but like just the thought of even going to the footy just was too much for me, to be completely honest. For a period, like when I was in for the Saints games, I didn't go to Saints Essendon, I didn't go to Saints Port. I barely was at Saints v Bulldogs. Like I was there, but I really wasn't. I only went because I didn't want to let someone who invited me down. G'day, Paul. You doing any tipping has made me keep forgetting to do my tips. Well, hopefully you don't forget next week. Not this week. I won't be doing my tips this week, but on the stream, I'll do the tips, but I'm not making a tips video. So, but I cancelled the membership because I just had to save up a month. Nah, that's all good. Look, if the membership is going to mean anything, I'll have to earn them back. Good to see some dono messages. Let me just read them out for starters because, you always do have to read the dono messages. Natty says, hope you're getting support. I am. I genuinely am. I avoided it for a bit, but I am seeing someone about it, and that's a personal thing. But it's only been one session because it's kind of like quite full, the person I'm seeing, but it's good. Like it's given me more motivation and more understanding. And a few people talked me into it. I was like, fucking don't need it. And then it's like, well, you might I clearly did need it because it was not getting better. And I you could tell that as the season progressed. Gather Round was shit for me mentally. The next 2 or 3 events, you could call them, like when Henshi did that content creators game, I was barely I was barely present. And then the Div 12 Resi's game was almost worse mentally. I probably was, to be honest. Annie says, "Do you have any advice?" I can talk about that a little bit in a bit, because that'll get me to think a little bit. And I still don't feel like I've got I don't have all the answers clearly, but I've got some strategies that work. I mean, the ones that work for me. So anyone that does have those questions, I'll answer them in a little bit. But let's just keep going through the comments, and let's actually put this thing up on Instagram. So just give me a sec. It's hard because you've got to also try to like communicate with the audience, but at the same time, I'm trying to think of what to put up. I do want to get people in, but I'll obviously leave this stream up public because then people can click on it and re-listen to it, kind of like a mini podcast. All right, I'm gonna keep far out. I'm really behind now, so behind that I'm just gonna skip all of the comments and just start from fresh. All right, we're gonna start at the Gather Round vlog comment. No, I'm not going to post it because I said it before, like the whole duration of the vlog, it felt like I just whipped out the camera. There was nothing more than that. I really didn't feel anywhere near the way I felt in other Gather Rounds, to be honest. And I just didn't think the content was great at all. You probably people still enjoy it, but personally, I just couldn't even put myself through going through the footage, let alone spending the time and effort that you do have to do for a video like that. And the SD card, this isn't even something I did on purpose. The SD card that had most of the footage, half the footage at least, got snapped. So I was a fucking idiot anyways at the time. So there's the answer. I'm not going to bloody decide to go to the shops and buy a new one or get that fixed. It's a waste of money. No Gather Round vlog. Trust me, it's a bit of a reset for me. I'm probably not going to release any content that was filmed prior to, I guess you could say. There are a couple, like I've attempted to do match day vlogs. I think I may have said this before I stopped streaming, but every time I do the vlog, when I got home, I just feel like shit and just feel like this is like, what am I doing here? This isn't like like I have got no intention, no direction. I'm just filming crap that I thought was just not worth putting out, so I just didn't do it. And then I guess the longer I kept doing that, the worse it got. The more excuses I gave myself to the point where I stopped doing everything. Veteran Members Lock says, "Holy moly, almost 4 years. Lock, Cinnamon Donut Man, whatever you want to call me. Lots of memories." Yeah, I saw you on the stream last night, and also on the well, you also commented on like messaging me on Instagram. So yeah, no, you're a good man. Good to see you on the stream, and hopefully enjoy. Why don't you guys hit the like button if you like the fact that I'm back on the streams? Not trying to make it all about me or anything, but hit the like button. Let's get to let's actually do a live window capture and see how many likes we can get, like the good old days. I need to figure out what's going on. If people still like is the YouTube community like actually, is no one posting anymore? For those that are OGs, like I haven't been watching anyone's content, so I wouldn't know. I've only just recently started checking out what I've missed, to be honest. Even when I was still sort of doing the streams here and there before like May, I didn't really I didn't keep myself updated much at all. Sarah says, "Will you get the Resi's game vlog out?" Nah, well, not that either. It was way too rushed. No plan, no direction ahead of the day. I sort of just filmed what I thought of. And yeah, it sounds shitty because I got a really good opportunity to play in the game and all, but it just felt like I was not where I was wanting to be for a game like that. And yeah, I just couldn't really be the person who I've been previously in content to deliver. And also, I didn't even get the opportunity to film in the room. So the whole just filming process was completely shit, and I just didn't even feel up to filming anything like breaks or like my mic fell a couple of times. I'm just like, I almost just wanted to get the game over and done with. To be completely honest, I enjoyed it. It was a great event, but I just the way I was. So there won't be a video on that. Um, it's a bit late for that, anyways, but it was still good to be a part of. Great. Hopefully next year there's another one and all that. But yeah, there won't be a video. As I said before, it would have just been a bit of shit, to be honest. The content's still there, so maybe members can see what I did film and all that. Can talk about that at some stage. Probably not tonight. Definitely it is Pat Kaz. I'm gonna keep scrolling down because a lot of these messages have taken longer to reply. So I'm going to pick the better ones. Going to be honest with you, Sunday's catch-up was one of the most rewarding. Yeah, it was great. Like, you fucking... like, I wasn't even sure if I was going to want to meet up with many people, but you actually made it a lot more easy to sort of ease into. So it was good to see you at the game there, Luke. It was really good to see you at the game. And I'm glad you think that felt the same way. So yeah, I'll be going to more games. I won't be overdoing it. I'll also give myself time for other things as well. So I'm not just going to stream 3 games for the sake of it. I think overall it'll be better for the health of me and the channel, because I'm not just, again, making content for the sake of making content. That's just burning the fuck out of me. For those that don't know, I'll be on the... Yeah. Stat Chat's doing the Creator Classic Season 3, and I was a part of it. I agreed to hop on before I stopped using socials, and I did write down the date on my calendar, so I think I did give an exception. I did use Instagram just to quickly respond to the messages to get on the call. But yeah, I'm on it. Be quite interesting to see how that video turns out. I won't spoil it for that video. Did you still enjoy Gather Round of the City of Adelaide? I mean, I don't... Overall, probably not as much as I wanted to, but that's whatever. Like, Gather Round, like next year I'll be at Gather Round, most likely, and hopefully it's a lot better. And I'm sure it will be, definitely. So yeah, this year's Gather Round just was a little bit different. AFL needs a mental health. Yeah. I mean, I've talked about that maybe like a couple times on streams, but I definitely do agree. It's okay, the matchday vlogs are cool, but if you don't like them, maybe bring back the weekly vlogs. Well, I don't know about them racking in views, but again, sometimes it's not all about the views. I know that's the game of YouTube, and I got to get back into that mindset of wanting to do content that'll get views and stuff. And again, I don't know how YouTube is. Maybe the off season will be different. I may be making some different content, doing some different things. I don't know yet, but I don't know about weekly vlogs. And I won't be doing as many match vlogs because I quite actually liked going to games and just watching them without having to stick a camera in my face 100 times a game. So that's something that I'm still going to figure out what I'll do. But even just like a return match day vlog for the Saints Swans game, or a game in the future, perhaps. Where'd I go? I had to take a break, Tay. I had to take a break. Glad you're back. I've also been struggling over a bit the past year with things like school and shit. So yeah, I'm glad to be back watching the streams. I've been a bit worried. Well, I appreciate the concerns there, mate, but hopefully it, for your sake, you're doing well, and balancing life and school, because it's very important to have that balance, but to have those people that reach out to you, which I've had people that have reached out to me, which have helped get to where I am now. I'm not fixed or anything like that, don't get me wrong, but I'm at the state where I can talk to the audience again and rip the Band-Aid off, because genuinely that Band-Aid probably wasn't even ripped at the start of the footy season. True Footy going strong. All right, I'm going to keep going. Yeah, it's so dead. They can't be bothered getting Cardi's back. Well, hopefully this return, I'm not going to be the Messiah, but hopefully we can get a few other content creators thinking about, even if they don't want to post, just sort of peeping their head every now and then on the streams or whatever, or getting them back on some videos if I can. Do your tips. Later, I'll do my tips in an hour or so. Less content's okay, quality over quantity. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, more so. And we got 100 likes, which is cool. But I think still with the tips, people like it so much that I think I'm going to continue it. And if I go a week where all I post on YouTube is tips, I'll be okay with that. As long as I'm still doing other things behind the scenes. It might not just be with YouTube. It might be with TikTok, Instagram, because that's sort of the direction it seems that social media is taking, where the popularity is on those platforms as opposed to YouTube. But man, I miss streaming. I just miss chatting to the audience, and I feel like I've definitely changed, not massively, but still just changed the mindset and a lot of things over the whole period of the break, and I just feel more refreshed, man. It's good. It is good to be back here. Coast Cup says I haven't properly posted in a while. Kind of lost motivation. Yeah, I get that. I get that, especially if you got other priorities. You don't have hard to make up the time for it. Nearly every AFL content creator has quit. That's a shame, but unfortunately, it's not surprising, to be honest. I was watching AFL Tube and Coast Cup streams whilst you were gone, so please. I might stream a game this week. We can talk about a bit about that later on, I reckon. Still going to go through some of the messages. Zay with the 2 buckaroonies. Welcome back, Hardy. Thank you very much. I'm still going through some of these messages. So if I'm not up to date, try not to worry too much. I'm still going to get to yours, and I really appreciate those that are here, because I did say it beforehand. And it's probably just because I thought to myself very lowly. I had very negative thoughts, but I did think that no one gave a shit about me, and I genuinely thought that most people would just be like, well, he stopped posting. Let's just move on to the next content creator. But this has clearly shown to me that that isn't the case for a lot of people, and people seriously see some value in what I do. And I think I need to make more of the most of it than what I was previously. So the approach needs to be different here. And that's why I'm going to take my time with it. Yeah, I know it's a shitty time to do that. If you talk about content sakes, oh yeah, you take 2 months off during the footy season. What an idiot. Fucking looking at it on the sidelines, yeah, it looks like a fucking dumb decision, but for the grand scheme of my life, it's probably the best decision I've made in a while. But I probably could have gone about it better. If I had my time again, I probably could have at least said something, as opposed to just like collapsing and just going away. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's bang through a few more of these questions, or just comments. G'day, Nishi Pair. Thought you just got sick of the dumb punishments, people. Well, I still get sick of them. Still not sure what I'll do with the punishments that I've technically got to do. Maybe I'll restart them. I'm not sure. Still planning to come to Gatherand next year. Yeah. I know a good mate of mine's going, so maybe I'll head to Gatherand with him. Perhaps. G'day, Scoops. Good to see you back. I will be taking it easy. I've seen you've still been kicking about with content, so hopefully that's going well for you. Perhaps catch up at a game in the future. We can talk about Saints and footy for a little bit at the end of the stream, I reckon, but however long this stream ends up being is however long it ends up being. I just don't want it to be too long for those that end up wanting to watch the replay. I definitely miss doing YouTube, and the thing is, right, I was doing content, but it didn't feel proper or at all genuine for all of this year. I think I made a story in March on my Instagram because I knew that I wasn't feeling great, but I tried to keep pushing on, and I had no idea how to really fix it. Like, they got to a stage where a lot of days in my life was consisted of maybe walking downstairs to grab one meal and go back to bed, and my phone. Like, the thought of even interacting with someone was too much, which killed my confidence, man. I'll tell you what, my confidence still isn't 100%, but this, it's helping getting back on the streams and stuff. Like all of I'm saying, hopefully you guys know I'm pretty honest on the stream, so this has been so far mostly honest. Kahoot, not tonight, no. Although in saying that, I fucking got a notification that I owe $170 for a Kahoot yearly premium account. So I was considering cancelling that, or maybe I just cop the fee and do bring back Kahoots at some stage. Glad you're doing well, though. I'm doing not amazing, but I'm definitely doing better than I was. Yeah, I'll be honest. I've also been struggling with shit myself as well. I just had my birthday last week. Yeah, well, my birthday wasn't the best birthday. It was like kind of right after Gatherand where I just felt even worse about a lot of things, and tried to sort of get by, but never did. Didn't realize you were scrolling, by the way, if you read one. That's all good. I'm still reading the messages. Chris just joined. King Gold just joined. Shy Gilius Alexander, thank you very much. Tip for tip. We'll do my tips later. I want to read all these messages. So can you bring back the weekly vlogs? Can I bring back the weekly vlogs? Yeah, possibly. But right now, that's not probably not at the forefront of my mind to do weekly vlogs. Maybe it'd be good for people to see what I get up to behind the scenes, and maybe I do something a bit easier I can do on more Cardman in a week or two. Maybe. Maybe. I could note that down. How come I took a break? Short thing. What's the phrase? Short things first. Isn't the phrase? Man, I've lost my train of thought. What I'm trying to say is to just break it down quickly so I can read it out and get to the next message. Yeah, my mental health was really bad, and I just needed to take a break. All. But if you wanted to skip by and see some other parts of the stream, like go back 10-15 minutes, I've answered some other questions relating more to it more specifically, and I'm sure I'll talk a bit more about it over the stream, so do not worry about that. The greatest the greatest comeback since Jesus Christ, you reckon? I'm trying to think, what are some other legendary comebacks? Don't know if this comes close to that, but I appreciate it, Heels. Hopefully you're doing well. I've seen you've been kicking it about a little bit on Free Faithful, and doing bits and pieces on there. I haven't really been consuming much content, I'll be honest with you, so I don't know how it's doing right now, but hopefully, I mean, what a season to be doing Free Faithful. Am I going to BTV? Well, maybe. The lineup looks good. It's all I've really crossed my mind. I think a few of my mates want to go, so maybe. You've already got accommodation sorted. Yeah, well, I think that's the thing. I don't really have accommodation yet sorted. I left it as late as you could leave it this year. And I think another bit to do with Gatherand was it just felt like I don't know, pushed myself too much. It was just too much pressure all at once. I was sort of from doing nothing to being sort of diving into the deep end. And then the people that were there weren't really there were still some people that I enjoyed hanging out with, but it wasn't the same group. And I didn't really feel as close with many other people. So the group I was with was also a little awkward. Not saying that the people I was with were bad, but like compared to those that I was used to in Gather Round. It was, I mean, a mixture of that. I'd like to know if I was at my mental state over 2024 and 5 Gather Rounds in 2023, if I would have still thought it was a little worse. I still think it was worse in a few aspects. Like I'm trying to think of actually the whole Gather Round as it is. It wasn't as much of a novelty, I guess, and you couldn't go to every game, so that was also a little bit of a shit thing. I don't know, a few other little factors involved. But obviously the overwhelming, and I just saw a $30 donation. Let me just read that out. Benny Campbell with the $30. Definitely appreciate that. Hopefully that doesn't fuck my stream up by doing that. Hope you're well. Just want to say how important it is to speak up and reaching out. I'm always here if you need anything. Happy you're back. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it, mate. You've been around for a while. Good to see you still around. It's really good to see those that have been around for a long time. I did have some thoughts at some stage of the whole duration of the last few months where I thought, again, like I said before, I'm going to come back and people are just not going to give a fuck. Or they're going to say, yeah, you know what, all of this stuff doesn't matter. They're going to expect me to be like a content robot and all that matters to them is content. And I thought even on this stream, there'd be people like that. But apart from Shannon Humphreys, who hasn't changed since 2020, really hasn't been the case. So thank you for that. All right, let's keep going. Was running a couple of weeks ago where you were. You're going to come back full time or just ease yourself in? Well, I still want this to be something I can do full time, but the approach, I wanted to just change it up quite a bit. But still, so it's better for me long term, and I have more of a life balance as well. But also treat this more proper. Like this is something I want to do. I've built this really cool audience. Let's get it done. And it just wasn't the case this year. I had a little, bits and pieces of the off season where I tried to fix my routine, my habits, but it sort of never really accounted to anything. Because I still thought back in my mind I had to be bigger and better than I was last year, and in a result, tried to work myself too hard to the point where I just, my ladder prediction this year, I reckon I spent 20 hours stressing over filming that video thinking that, oh yeah, this is not what it should be. Like, I don't sound articulate enough with this point, or I don't sound good enough with this, whatever it is. And I would like to go back and see the recording of it. I reckon I broke down in tears 3 times, and that wouldn't be the only time that happened in the last 4 or 5 months, even with making content. So let's hope that doesn't happen on the stream. It probably won't. G'day, Skipper. Change the logo, I've seen. Wow. Yo, Cardi, what are your thoughts on Naz having 46 and 4? Outstanding from Naz. I mean, his start to the game was a bit disappointing with just the amount of turnovers he had. Well, let's talk about footy later. I'll answer this question because I'm already on it. But he just changed the game in the third quarter. He's one of the best players in the comp for a reason. Can't believe Dan is in the Collingwood cheer squad. Yeah, I'll be at the game tomorrow, so I'll see how that goes. Life and people just seem so much better before COVID. Well, I don't know about that, to be honest with you, personally. Because before COVID, I was a bit of a loser. I was a bit of a piece of shit. Not a piece of shit bloke. I don't know. I guess I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say there. I'll keep going. Stat Chat says it was great to have you part of the Creator Classic. Let's see. But yeah, 100%. And I'll be back to watching some more Stat Chat videos. I know it's not about that, and I'm sure you're aware of that, but I want to be back and around watching what people put out, so I'm feeling more involved, because whilst I was away and all that, it wasn't like in the behind the scenes I was watching every YouTube video secretly. No, I wasn't doing any of that. I was watching a lot of the World Cup, so we can maybe discuss a bit of that. I really feel like I've screwed up or missed an opportunity and not been able to make some cool World Cup content this year, because I genuinely was watching it a lot, and there was a good 2 or 3 week period where I was watching it and reading news on it and all that stuff, talking about it. Even I say talking about it, I wasn't really catching up with anyone during that time, but more so just, indulging in it way more than footy. I don't think I watched a game of footy for a 2 week period but I did say that on one of my streams the other night. But for those that don't know, that was the case. Yeah. He's a good guy, Elliot. Me and Sirens have something planned with the new game that's coming out. I don't know anything about the new game. Besides vlogs, is there anything else you want to change with the Well, it's not just the like the output, like the end goal of what I put out. I mean, that is a big thing, but it's just like the behind the scenes process of the way I put the content together, and just the whole attitude towards it, I guess you could say. But that's still something that I'm only just in this week have actually started kind of addressing behind the scenes, and so that's why I'm not just going to rush into it, because like if I just go from zero to hero, as I said before, and try to make like a 6-part documentary on something, I'm going to not meet the standards that I have in my head. It'll be unrealistic, and then it could easily just lead to wanting to stop again. But I hope it doesn't lead to that. I really hope it doesn't. JG says, Cardi's so back. Thank you, mate. Your community clearly care about you. Well, that's what's pretty much telling me indefinitely how important it is to keep going in some capacity. And I really did enjoy the journey I've had to get here. But again, there comes a time where you've got to sort of change the way you do that, because what I was doing led to how I felt this year. Been watching a lot of the Packer Luciano. I want to get him on a stream, to be honest. I had the idea of that in the early parts of the season when he popped off, but unfortunately I didn't have the guts to message him, because I just didn't think that I was going to produce a good enough fucking bit of content with him, because he was popping off and I thought it was going to be too awkward. So I never had the guts to message him. So as far as I'm aware, he might not even know I exist. And he was kind of a nobody last year in terms of like content and people knowing him. Not saying that he's a nobody or anything like that as a person, but like in the YouTube or more so social media footy scene. So yeah, that would be cool if you guys want to see that. I'm not sure. As I see a big donation, I need to read who it was. $50. Wow. Wowee. Thank you for that. Holy shit. Nettie says, you're not alone. It's always good to talk about it to someone, so don't carry the burden alone. Healing takes time. It's helped. Look, I'm not going to name names, but there have been certain people that have reached out, and I'm doing my best to sort of reach out to others now, because before this whole ordeal, I won't lie, I just didn't really care enough to like talk to anyone about how they're feeling, because I didn't know about it, or didn't think it was like as important as what it is. And like, yes, whilst I've gone through bits, I feel like others have had it a lot worse and have gone through a lot worse. So have a great night, Nettie. Good night. Have a good one. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate the donation from you and the others that have put in a donation. And yeah, no, appreciate it a lot. All right, let's see who else we got in the chat here. Good to see. I still hate the YouTube setting with the @ profile, and it's not like the name, it's the @ I can't see who's who, which pisses me off. Like an example, like AFL God's message, he just says, "What's up?" If I click on his channel name is AFL. Well, that's a bad example because it's got the number. But like, some have the number, and I don't want to read the number. Skibbers is being honest, the community hasn't really been the same without you. For most of us, you are the reason we started in the first place. So many people have said that to me, that I'm like the glue that holds the community together. So I didn't really know that whilst I was sort of gone and really actually properly gone, that a lot of others who sort of followed my footsteps in a way also kind of stopped. You know, it's a little bit sad. I mean, I know it's never going to be how it was back in the day. The heyday of the community is long gone, but like there is still a community out there that hopefully can keep kicking on, even if everyone's already graduated from school and have careers. And I was going to say kids. None of fucking the content creators will have kids or viewers from the period of like 2020, 2021 when they were at school, but you know what I mean. Good to have you back. Curious on if you're going to continue the YouTube gig or switch your career path. Well, that's something I don't know for the whole future of my life. But for the time being, let's get back to just having a bit of fun with this and you know, hopefully getting more experience and opportunities and treating this more seriously so this can keep growing, because there was a stage where I thought that was not going to happen. Blake's on the stream. Good to see you. It's been a while since we've caught up, so that'll happen soon. Good to see the Rassic brothers going about. Like, again, I have no idea if these content creators are still posting. Football Science, thanks for the message. Just seen another donation. Let me just read that. $10 from Yeah Boy. I don't know if I've seen. That's his first ever donation. So thank you. I'm fucking applaud him. Let's applaud the guy. Yeah Boy with a $10. Didn't know we were giving a round of applauses now on this stream. Lucas says the goat is back. Glad you got time to focus on your mental health. Great to see you back. Remember, it's ever worked. It's definitely not. And I probably at some stage will do something involving maybe a charity or something, because now I've understood what it's like. So definitely thank you for the donation, mate. WS Kebab says, hey brother, it's ads from the Giants Cheer Squad. Good to see you back. Oh, well, thank you for the $20, Adam. I do remember you from the Giants Cheer Squad. I've been to the Giants Cheer Squad a few times this year, to be honest with you. And it's always good. It's always empty, so you got to get more people down. Yeah, Jack's been great recently. Just been checking in with me and all that. Went to the Collingwood game with him the other day. But, well, I mean, maybe I'll make a video in the next week or two. I don't know, where I like predict the rest of the games. It's an easy video to make, but it's something that probably people care about knowing my opinion. Oh, I didn't mean to delete the message. I accidentally deleted the message. I didn't mean to do that. And by the way, if you just join, I am late on messages, so I'm getting back to the messages. I know normally the Just Channings, I read the current ones. I'm not right now. This isn't going to be that stream for now. But thanks for the message and the donation. Appreciate it a heap. And then Xavier Brown. If that's Xavier Brown, the Xavier Brown we all know from the community, I completely forgot to get back to that long message you sent me. And I know it was your birthday on Tuesday. If that's the same Monday, sorry. If that's the same Xavier Brown, I will get to you when I can. So thank you for sending the message and the donation. It could be some other Xavier Brown. It's still a common name. And you know what? Should I chuck my live subscriber count? I know it's not all about the numbers on this stream, but I would like to know how. Or should I? Or is it maybe not the stream for the live sub count? Maybe not. I'll leave it. Welcome back. See you Saturday. Yes. All right. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Cash. Oh, Cash. How have you been, mate? I genuinely wasn't expecting to see you on the stream. It's good to be back. Hopefully you're doing well yourself as well. You and Journey. I think you guys went away, if I'm not mistaken, to like America. Um, Kahoot G guess at EFO. Fuck off, Blake. It's good that there's still a bit of humor around in the chat. These people making those Cardi died where the Tim video jokes on them. Yeah, but you're always going to get them. I understand that. I'm going to keep, if I missed a message of yours, don't be too like bummed out. If I get to like every single message, it's going to take, I won't get to everyone's if that's the case. I'll be too behind. Let's see. What else we got? I'm gonna skip through a little bit. I just got to the Ben Campbell donation. How was playing on the same field as Andrew? Well, I tagged him for 3 minutes, and that was about it. Again, I wished if I had my time back, I could have probably thought of a cool little bit of content to make, and get him a part of. But yeah, I didn't think of that. In my mind, I just wanted to get through the night, genuinely. But that was fun. Off-season plan. I haven't come to that thought yet. Off-season plans. I know the off-season's sort of getting to. It's coming soon, but still 2 months of footy. Don't know yet, but hopefully have a better off season than the last one. Because like the last off season, I did burn out. I reckon for sure. Just traveling 20 fucking times a year. Mind you, if you haven't seen that video, make sure you see that video. I'm probably going to try and promote that again this year. I haven't bothered promoting anything this year, but I might give that a crack again because I put a lot of money into it. So I'd like to return the money or the funds. What was I going to say? Yeah, hopefully it's a different off season in terms of like, I could have just let myself decide, well, all right, I guess that's the footy season. I can just clock off for 5 months and kind of do nothing. But I still worried too much about making these little videos that didn't matter. Or like when I went to Thailand, I was still editing videos. Like I probably won't do that when I go on holidays again to that extent. It wasn't healthy and I didn't really enjoy the trips as much. I had a kid come up to me at the Port View Woodville game. Yeah, I mean, apparently Lockie Miller's had 50 people in the last 3 weeks. He called me, he called me a few weeks ago telling me that. He was the first person one of the first I've talked to in like a month. And yeah, I didn't really know how to answer that. I was like, shit, man. Yes, Fidget. Well, I don't know if I need that necessarily, Phil. Maybe at some. And again, I'm so late with the comments. People probably don't even know what I'm trying to answer. So I might read the comment alongside the message. Thomas says, "I hope you're all right, Cardi. Just remember, the longer you go, the stronger." Yeah. Well, hopefully that's the case. So thanks for the message. Are you doing the State of Origin vlog? Says Jackson. Fair for asking, but I already answered beforehand. It just was not planned at all. I wish I could have done better with the opportunity I had, but I'm not putting it out. Perhaps it could be some behind the scenes on like the members, but probably not. To be honest, it just wasn't really that good. And I think it's because I got there and there were other creators like Haz and Caden and they had people that were in the rooms filming for them that had ideas. They had everything ready and prepared, and I was just comparing myself to them, and it just got in my mind. And obviously, I fucked up because I didn't know that you actually needed someone to go into the rooms. Like last year, you could just rock up into the rooms, and that was all. But like this year, you actually need like a proper pass. So I figured as a player, I could just get like Lockie, and I got Lockie just because I asked him sort of last minute. He couldn't get in the room, so most of the behind the scenes stuff I couldn't even record, so it wasn't even that good. Menza, how you going? Hopefully you're doing well as well. I haven't really caught up with you in a while as well, so don't know what you've been up to, but thanks for joining the stream, Menza. Thoughts on Saint Sons being? I'll get on my thoughts on that in a minute, and by that in maybe 30 to an hour. You're probably the first YouTuber that sort of heard me out here too. Sorry if I've annoyed you. I to be honest with you, maybe my memory's sort of been warped a little bit, but I don't even remember. I remember you in chats and all that, but I don't remember you being that annoying. Hotkey. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I fucking missed the message. Shit. I've missed all of the messages. All right. if you're still watching, I missed the message you sent. I just saw your name. I'm trying to get back to where I was before. Oh, Blake sent me a donation. Welcome back, Ung Fire Up. Have I missed donations here? Oh, yeah, no, I have. All right, chat. I'm going to just go current now. I'm going to reset all the messages, and if I didn't respond, I will just reset it. Finn's back. How you going? Thanks for the member message. Good to see you on the stream. Octus is great to have you back, mate. Can't wait for the Saints v Swans vlog. Well, that's the thing, man. I genuinely something was wrong when such an incredibly shit game, and I haven't talked about my thoughts of this game, this Swan Saints game, but such an incredibly shit feeling and finish. And I never even posted a video on it. I did like a YouTube short that was on Sydney. That was in Sydney when I posted after the game, and then I mean, to be fair, it is difficult when you're on like a trip away abroad and you got an early flight to like get a video out the next day. But I don't know, I just didn't really end up putting it out because I allowed myself to just sort of not care, and I just thought it was going to be shit anyway. And it was. I didn't even film an intro. I didn't even know if I was going to film. Then I started filming bits and pieces. Then the game got close, and then I had to I'm like, well, fuck it. All right, this is a good game. You know, my inner cardman tendencies came out, and I decided to record myself react in the end. But yeah, like I mean, I posted the reaction on Instagram. That was it. Yeah, it's me. I also remember thinking for years, how's this bloke not fried? Up till 4 a.m. editing, I reckon. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I would just be so stupid with my time. Like, I'm sure I probably spend a lot of time on the channel, and I know that I have, but like, yeah, you're right. Like, waiting to like the last minute to do things and like thinking that I can save myself by staying up till 4 in the morning. I can remember when I'd edit videos thinking that I could get so many these videos edited in a short bracket. Like I didn't need to do that. It wasn't good for myself long term, and it all caught up in the end. Like obviously that was just shit, but I guess it got the videos out, but I was just stressed all the time, and I had not much time for anything else. And like I wasn't even like I had no time to check in on anyone. I had no time to ask how my family have been, go to my sister's footy, just things like that, for an example. And I guess the fact that I've been seeing more family members this year because of other family issues that I've had this year, that has made me learn that, that's really important as well. And it's not all about making fucking, I don't know, geoguessr stream. Well, the geoguessr streams are fun. What's a shit example or a good example of a shit stream? Like staying up till 3 a.m. for the sake of doing it. Like overnight streams, for example. They didn't do me wonders, did they? Octa, yeah, already got to that message. All right, I'm going to keep going. Lockie Miller stuck up to me as an Sandford player and abused me in a bad way around the Anzac rounds. Rob from VidQ will be furious about. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I remember I was so obsessed with getting bloody channel reviews. And again, Geordie, I know you've tried to send memes and shit throughout the year, and I was really inconsistent with replying because I would check Instagram one day and not for 2 days. So, yeah, look, I don't want to get to a stage where I'm addicted again on the app, but I want to be as active as I can to get back to people, especially people that I've been close with in a while. If you want though, Geordie, I've got your number. Send me your number. If you want to reach out to me there, that I'm more efficient on that. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Saints being in the wildcard race exciting. Yeah, I don't think we're good though, Octa. I think we're just bang average. I don't think we're necessarily good, but we're prepping for 2027. It's kind of obvious. What's the time? 9:19. Turn on the donation sound. I will do that some other time, not tonight. Mainly because it's a bit of a pain in the ass to get through and put together. I just said, what are you going through? It says hot. Just, yeah, lots of lots of things. I guess it's sort of difficult to sort of sum into one category, but over the course of the last footy season, I burnt myself out. I didn't really address the underlying issues of other things in my life. It was sort of just all I had. My identity was basically all content. That's what I put all my eggs into that basket. And whilst it was fun and all that, when the new footy season started, I just didn't feel prepared. It just didn't. Um, it didn't go the way that I thought it would, and then I started avoiding things. I started doing things less. I started to be less active, less involved, post more infrequently, and my mental health, just for other reasons as well, got worse and worse to the point where I didn't even want to go to footy games. It got that bad, so I had to stop. But I did sum that up a bit previously. Is my is my camera laggy or is that just OBS? I'm gonna check on the stream. Please don't. No, it isn't. It's just OBS. It's just OBS. Do you have any vids to upload? I don't have like a big backlog of content. Like as I said before, the whole reason why I stopped making content is because I didn't actually use socials. So it's not like I was whipping up a really good video in the meantime. I mean, it would have been nice if I did, but I didn't, and that's okay. Do you have any games to upload like Gatherant? Yeah, like I said before, no. I answered the Gatherant question beforehand on what happened to all that footage. Basically, I just carked this SD card. Me, Marto, and Jack going to day 2 of the MCG test. Got a spare ticket. Well, maybe. I mean, it's a long way away. 27th of December. I'm gonna start answering the more specific questions as opposed to like, where have you been? I've been away. I've had reasons for being away. It's kind of like I don't want to like say the same thing 30 times because then I'll just, So if you want to know, you'll find out in other bits of messages I've answered, and then later on I'm sure I'll answer something else. But I just want to get through all these other messages and see who else is watching the stream. Scott's in the stream. How you going, Scott? Oh, he just he just messaged me on iMessage as I read his message. Well, you just messaged me. How are you? I am doing a lot better. Not perfect, not like 100% or anything, but I'm doing a lot better, and I'm back on the content, just slowly getting there, slowly getting back to how things were, but not really how things were. They're going to be different. The whole approach, my whole mental state's changed, all of that. But yeah, what did Top Fix say? No more overnight stuff. Well, maybe once every now and then if it's planned and all that, but probably not just for the sake of it. Like, hopefully I get to it. Like, I won't just be doing it because someone put a $200 donation in the moment. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to fucking do it. Because then it messes up not just the next day, but it really just messes up the next couple of days. Because then it's not worth it overall. But I never said I'm never going to do one again. But it's not like I've written down in my notes overnight stream August 3rd. Will you be streaming any games this weekend? I'll talk about that later. Perhaps. Was a bit weird without you during the season. Yeah, I mean, you popped on a few streams, I believe, that I was doing this year. And I didn't notice that, but yeah, a lot of those streams, like I was sort of kind of hiding the mask, and I probably did mention that I wasn't feeling amazing, but didn't want to like talk about anything in too specifics. But as I said before, the standards started to drop, and not that I stopped caring, but I don't know, like it felt like the only content that I was putting out, I was only putting out because I felt like I had to, because that's because I didn't want to lose my long streak of footy tipping. That was like my holy grail. Like I cared more about keeping my footy tipping streak than my hygiene, my eating habits, my personal life outside of just doing content, any aspirations of getting a girlfriend. I didn't give a fuck about that as long as the footy tipping streak was going. So even then I'm like, well, I couldn't make myself film a video if you paid me to. That's why I ended up getting them out on Thursday and Friday, and I kept feeling more guilty because I'd be like, oh fuck, I've got it out on Friday. people clearly can tell something's up, but I don't know how to address it. I felt really scared telling people about that, so I kind of just said that I'd come back better, and then I didn't, and I'm like, fuck me dead, what am I doing? I feel like I answered that well enough. All right, what else we got here? Oh, my mouse has stopped working. That's good. Are you going to be? Are you going to the Renegades last game? Probably. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad video. That wouldn't be a bad video at all. Welcome back, Saints 88. I mean, not so welcome. I said welcome back to a guy that. Well, technically, welcome back to my streams. Good to see you watching. Don't need to make you sleep instead now, lol. That wouldn't be content though. Watching Naz have 46 and 4 should improve you. Yeah, definitely probably did. No overnight sleep and constant good sleep is the best thing by a mile. Well, yeah. I guess like I didn't really know if my mental health was bad whilst I was doing that because it was just like, I don't know, content kind of consumed me, especially over lockdown in 2021 when the overnight started and I'd do them every single other week. I guess I had nothing else better to do and I was quite young and dumb and I kind of still feel like I am in a way. I kept reading the comments every couple of weeks on your latest video. The amount of people who said you were dead and shit, probably by the same people who said Pips they got hit by a bus. Well, that's, I mean, a lot of people I can understand why they think that, especially if they're like young and don't understand perhaps the possibility of having, of content creators perhaps having struggles behind the scenes or whatever. Like if I actually did decide, fuck this YouTube stuff, I'm going to stop. Like I wouldn't just stop and then not talk to anyone ever again or whatever. And like live a completely different life. That never was going to be me at all. So if people thought, oh, he probably, pissed off back to Mexico or, found himself a girlfriend or whatever, like, no, if I found myself a girlfriend, I'm sure I would have probably got her on a stream. That's views, isn't it, chat? It's fucking views. Having a girlfriend's a waste of time, honestly. I disagree with that. Like maybe when you're in high school, but I mean, it's not a waste of time. Depends on the way you see a girlfriend and how you treat the whole relationship. If you're just doing it because you want to show her off, then yeah, it is a waste of time. You got to, think about that a lot differently. I would like to just get back to, here we go. Great, man. Good to see you found some purpose on here again. Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate it, hands and heels, but overall the reception's been great. And honestly, I don't really want to talk more about it. Like maybe I should or not or whatnot, but I'm not I don't feel like I'm qualified to make these advice posts, at least not yet, because I've only just come back to streaming on like Instagram. Do you see all those videos on Instagram and TikTok where people talk about that? And good on them for doing that. But I kind of just want to get back to doing what most of the people want to watch and what I would enjoy creating. So I don't know if I'll do any of that on TikTok or Instagram where I make this big long post because it's not playing the sympathy card, but I don't know. I don't know how to, I don't know. When I join you for the second half, that's when, yeah, I know you shouldn't have done that. Actually, you should have stayed at the first half. You would have kicked 8. I bet your parents are a mix of happy, sad that you're streaming again. The loudness is back, but true. I think the real loser is my sister. Yeah, she's probably was the big winner that I stopped doing the streams for a good period of time. I wasn't as loud at night, and I will try to not be as loud. But at the end of the day, like sometimes I can't help myself. Did you go to any footy games during your break? Yeah, a few, but not many. Not enough to, want to do a video at the end of the year, going to ranking every game I went to. Like I'm not doing that this year. Someone said you were in Fiji for 7 weeks. They were probably kidding. Who said that? I'm sure that was a joke. But that would be kind of funny if I did go away and didn't tell anyone. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Saints vlogs coming back anytime soon. Perhaps, like not every week or anything like that, but I think I'm considering just going to the footy this week and just filming what I get up to and posting it. I think people would want to see that, but just not putting too much pressure, but also like trying to have a little bit of an idea of how I'm going to put the video together before I go to the game. so it'll make it easier when I'm there. It's better than it was a few weeks ago. That's the main thing. And I reckon I probably just said that just so people don't feel too worried about me back whenever. But deep down, I knew that it was kind of like not really that much of an improvement. Yeah, Xavier's not wrong on that. Don't know to talk about, but if you feel like you can relate, oh, yeah, and that's why I think I'm probably gonna give it a bit more time. Like I don't think I'll have enough to talk about yet. It's still a little bit fresh. As I said before, this is the first, like for a lot of people, like for probably more than half of the people that um have watched me, still think that I'm dead or something, or not dead, but I don't know what you'd call it. Are you still going to be streaming in an hour? Uh, yeah, good chance, but not too much later than that. Anna just to deal with the means you screaming at the top of her school online meeting because Tango body kicked at Colin. Yeah, that was inconsiderate, but it was funny. Saint Swans was cinema the first time, so let's hope the sequel's just as good. Yeah, I mean, the last 3 St Kilda Sydney games that I've been to have all been thrillers. So I think it'd be a good time to just vlog it. I think the last year, I remember I wanted to go to the game and vlog it. I think it was one of the first times ever where I went to a Saints game since making content, because I just, for whatever reason, got to a stage where I thought that I had to do a vlog. Otherwise, I've really let myself down or whatever. I couldn't live with myself, if I didn't vlog a St Kilda game, because that was just, it was almost like I had to do it. Like it goes hand in hand together. But I didn't vlog it because I think I had something wrong with my camera before the start of the game. So I'm like, all right, I'll do like a little Instagram mini video instead. And that turned out to be a really close game. The last one before that, we won by 2 points in 2024 when they were first, when we weren't even. Yeah, they're fun, but it does get to a stage where it feels like you're doing the same thing for so long. You sort of do need to mix it up in some capacity, but like I said, I don't really know what the space is with footy YouTube vlogs at the moment, if people are still making them. So maybe there's still a demand for it, which clearly there is. Hey man, I'm glad you're finding yourself again. I don't think you have to get back into content immediately. Yeah, I'll ease into it, but like I'll talk about what I might do this week for content, and that's just what I might. Like, yeah, you're not going to see me make like a community post putting real expectations for me to on Tuesday release this, on Thursday stream this, on Friday post this video, particularly when I haven't even started. I used to do that a lot when I hadn't even started a big video and I'd already promised to be out on Thursday. It was too difficult. It was just stupid. Generational TDK, Silvani and Kerno hate watch for me. True, actually, yeah. My favorite moment of the World Cup. Oh, look, I was bummed out that I watched the Australia-Turkey game and I still have footage of my reactions to the game because I wanted to do a vlog at the Saints v Giants game, but like I was in the state where I couldn't really get a good consistent bit of vlog footage out for a footy game, so it sort of fell apart. Never uploaded it, but at least sort of tried to, and that was when we won 2-0. So probably that, like maybe probably the first goal I'd say. Nerakunda, that's his name, right? I think I knew. I tell you what, it's been 3 weeks since Australia played, so I've even lost the my train of thought on some of the plays. But anyways, that probably was the best moment. But it was shit because it was like in a corporate. No, it wasn't really corporate. It was like upstairs outside of level 2, in like some glass, sort of like an area where you'd go behind the game for like members and stuff. There was like maybe 10 people there, maybe 20 people. Irakunda, isn't it? And then I yeah, it wasn't like that good. And then I thought more people would care about the game when the footy started, when more people started streaming. There was like maybe 5 people there for the second goal. So it was sort of shit. But like moment of the World Cup for Australia fan, probably that. there was just shit because there was no atmosphere. These social media websites are part of the huge problem. People get affected mentally. They allow cowards and fake accounts to remain. They only. I've got no idea how you've been tracking yourself, Scoops. I look, it's up to you, but I don't think it'd be the worst idea for yourself to take a break if you need to and come back a better person. But I haven't really seen any of that. Like, look, I probably got too involved with all that stuff in previous years. Blues are going to get hammered. If your mental health is ever down, just remember there's some AFLW who's just opened a Scoops DM this week. Yeah, I'm quite lucky the trolls haven't come to this stream. Maybe they're just waiting for me to start getting a few more bits of streams into the algorithm to start ripping into me. I know this isn't really groundbreaking, but I did get to the new X. Oh yeah, the Extrapolis one. That's cool. That's cool. What else we got? How often do you think you'll upload from now on? Not sure yet. Maybe one video a week. Or two videos or like what, 3 every 2 weeks. Maybe a bit more short form stuff. Just easing into it, I would say, and not just completely go straight from 0 to 100. Even if in past years during the finals, that's what I tried to do. I really want to still maintain that balance. Still put a lot of time into having an enjoyable final series if I can, but not set these ridiculous standards of thinking that I could stay up till 4 in the morning, 3 nights in a row. Like, there are content creators that do that I think it's going to get to them at some stage. I don't know when it will, but for most it probably would. You just going with mates to tomorrow's game? Yeah. I'm going with 2 of my best mates to the game, so that'll be good. Maybe I'll make a post there. I'm not sure. Not YouTube. I won't bring the camera to that game. I don't reckon. Will you make a tipping vid this week? No, but next week probably. I think later on the stream I'll do my footy tips, sort of like a live tipping video, if you call it that. Need to hire an editor or something to ease the load. Yeah. I think that is a goal. Like, that's another thing. I've never really had goals for YouTube or had them written down to go and trying to aspire. Like, apart from the obvious get 50k subs or this and that, but that's sort of like not very specific, not very like achieve. So that's something that a therapist, I was talking with her about it, or helped me get a little bit more of an idea of what would work. So that I haven't really had any proper ones written down yet, but I'm going to try and come up with short and long term goals, and maybe by next year I could have an editor that would help. But obviously I've got to make more money for that, and as obviously has occurred, I haven't been making as much money this year because I've been not really doing much, have I? So yeah. So cheers for the donations, guys. Keep them coming. Kev's Magpies is probably currently the most consistent content creator. Well, good on Kev, to be honest with you. He's not letting... He's doing it for the... That's genuinely doing it for the love of the game, because he's probably not getting any more views than he was getting 3 years ago. So that's, good on him for that. And they're insightful videos. I've seen a few of them. Popovich sold the World Cup. Yeah, interesting decisions made, especially in the Egypt game, but I still didn't think that Egypt, I didn't think that we were the better side in that game. Egypt probably still should have won in probably after the first 90. I mean, they had a lot more chances. We did well enough to stay level and then hold it out to penalties, but then that was the game where they put Ryan on, and I didn't know about that being the decision. I would have just kept Beach. But like, again, I've learnt more about World Cup knowledge and all that stuff, but I don't know still that much compared to others. We'll see. I'm going to try to... I've said this a few times already, but I might try to get Stan, or more realistically, I'll hack Sammy's... I won't hack it, but I'll get Sammy to give me his Stan account, because he told me he was going to do that like a while ago. And then I'll watch a Prem game every now and then and try and learn a few more players' names and get a little bit more involved, because my mates are really big into it, and it'd be good to have a bit more of a discussion on that when they're talking about it, especially when there's no sport on in like November, because there is no sport on in November. Probably, I mean AFLW, but not really any sport. Um, what else we got in the stream? Every time you read in my messages, I get a fucking ad. Well, you know what? I'm happy that I'm getting ads on this stream. It means that I haven't been demonetized yet. Geez, there's still a lot I've missed on. Geordie said my train was at Southern Cross and the SBS stream frozen. Of course, we kicked the first goal. I watched that. Yeah. Well, we got there specifically early because we thought there was generally going to be live screens for the World Cup at the St Kilda Giants game, but there was none of that. It was actually shit. It was shitty. In the future, sometime in 2027, would you ever see yourself doing the Project Sunrise flight? I mean, if I make enough money, and I don't want to get too excited, but there's a chance that I might be making money in another form, not OnlyFans or anything else, but there's something that my dad's been t- doing along behind the scenes for the last few years, and it's looking a little bit promising. But I'm going to leave it at that. But who knows? Maybe a bit of that could help me, you know, invest in some stuff to make what I do better, and maybe I could go on one of those freaking flights. But yeah, I hear you're a plane sort of guy. Are you more of a plane guy or train guy, Arjun? I don't know. How Chappy? How's it going? How are you going? We definitely need to. Are you going to the Geelong Collingwood game tomorrow? Actually, I might ask because I will be going to that. Be the first time in maybe, well, maybe the whole year that I'll see certain people at the game. Will I be streaming any AFL matches this week? Probably. Every time. Well, would put a. All right, let's say I do Fremantle v Western Bulldogs. I don't want to just do it for the sake of doing it, right? I want to do it because I want to do it. So would you guys, if I put together just a normal stream where I just sit back, watch it, there might not be any other streamers watching the game. I know Dan Does Footy has been starting up a few big ones on the AFL channel, but if I did Freo Bulldogs for Friday night, who would actually, even if you might not watch it, but who would consider watching it? So I have an idea. I know I shouldn't care much, and I won't care about the numbers, even if like the videos are average and do shit, because the algorithm probably won't help. The fact that I've been off for 2 months, that doesn't help. But who would consider it? I'd consider it, and if maybe that stream does really well on Sunday, I could consider doing one of the games if I've got the time to set it up. Especially when he talked about Quainer winning the ball against Freo. He's never won it. Henshi, good to see you on the stream, mate. Hopefully all is well. It has been, I say it's been a while. I last caught up with you at the Saints Bulldogs game where I wasn't at my very best, but I've definitely I've definitely made more priorities of managing my mental state, and I've been in a better state over the last couple of weeks. Feeling like I can get back to slowly returning to content, but just life in general. Content's not everything. We've got to link up soon as well, even if it's just for a catch up. And I do appreciate the messages you've sent as well, alongside the others that have as well. You gotta, I won't. Xavier said you gotta learn when to give a fuck about someone and genuinely care deep down it. Yeah, yeah. For the past 6 or so years, you've been on the constant. I mean, yeah, it definitely took a toll on me, but I mean, I enjoyed it. Like, I definitely enjoyed doing it more than I enjoyed trying to make it a proper business or trying to make it like a career path where I could make good money. I never really learnt those skills well enough whilst doing content. I just enjoyed it and just only worried about kind of like the next week or next 2 weeks and didn't really plan too far ahead. So, yeah, I guess the new chapter of the journey of the channel and my content or whatever is looking at it a bit differently and understanding that, like, if for whatever reason I kept doing the same thing 5 years in the future from the last 5 years, I probably almost certainly, I don't know, maybe it's not, but I almost certainly probably still would be in a similar boat with a lot of life skills, life things, and I probably still would not have any relationship much at all, like kind of like experience and all that. Because if I'd still only care about YouTube, I wouldn't care about doing other things as much. And uh, yeah. Sturdy might finally have his prediction right from 5 years ago when he said you were making like $52 a month, whatever it was. It's not quite $52 a month. It is. Well, thankfully, some of my videos that are evergreen still made money. So even whilst not making any content, I was still making it 4 figures from YouTube ad revenue by sitting on my ass doing nothing, and I was still making a bit of extra money on the side during that whole break as well. So I still was making a bit, but like that's not a lot overall. Did he go to the Pendles 4-3? No, I didn't go to that game. I can give you my stand. If you want to give me your stand, you don't have to do that, but I would appreciate it. Am I just going to jump on the stream and, okay, guys, who wants to give me their stand? Throw in Disney Plus. You know what? Throw in fucking Hulu, HBO. Fuck it. You know, the floor is yours. Do your best. Give me all of your accounts, and I'll show your appreciation by shouting you out in the video. In theory, like, if I was smart about it, which I need to think about, I could honestly use the audience for more of my advantage, but I won't do that. You don't have to do that. Or that one where he said Pendles kick a goal and he said the right thing. I'll keep going down. Henchy says I scabbed off Sammy's Optus Sport for years. Yeah, good old Optus Sport. Good old Optus Sport. You could probably trial a few pretty cheap editors from within your community and see if any of them. Yeah, but how would I trial? I don't really know how to go about doing that. I'll consider that if I want to actually do more content, but make it a little easier on myself if I start earning more money, right? Because obviously, like how many people are watching how would I go about making it worth their time and like a career step for them by editing for me? Like, you know what? So I'm not at that stage yet, but if it's gonna work, it's gonna work for both of us. I don't want to fuck others around. You don't have to put a what's the word? I forgot the word. I actually no. I'm not even gonna read that message. I remember when I was using Sammy's code, and then somebody asked me if the password is an account. Okay, you're not going to the game. Okay, that's fair. You probably like a Thursday doesn't work. Probably does it. All right, I'm gonna keep scrolling down. Nick, how you going, mate? Cardi, I've been watching your old footy card videos. Says Matt is a legend. You know what? I filmed a box break in May, and I never posted it because I was really unhappy about like the color correction on on the phone. I didn't set it to the right settings, and that is archived footage, almost fully edited. Maybe I post that on like more Cardman. It's not quite a main channel video, but maybe I do that. For those that do like the footy cards, I haven't been opening footy cards at all this year though, to be honest. So, we got a donation from Anthony. I've missed that. With $1, no message. It's just good to see what people have been doing, you know, since I've been gone. Probably a lot more than what I've been doing. Might be busy Friday, but oh yeah, what do people say about wanting to watch the Friday game or like tuning into the stream? It is a Friday night, and you do think about it. Like, I don't know what percentage of people go out on a Friday night on average, or have like plans, whatever it is, or would watch the footy, or would want to watch the footy with another person. Like, I don't know what the percentage is, particularly if you're older than a certain age. I was going to go to Melbourne v Richmond, but on the 12th, but the stupid weather took a toll. Me and my friends were going to go. Fair. What the hell? What are AFL cupcakes? Let's get to 200 likes, guys. Zoe says, I'm Harley. Yo, Cardi, I've been watching your footy cut. I already read that. Let's keep going down. And honestly, Chappie, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that didn't know, and fair enough, especially if you haven't been too kept up to date, or even if you were, like, you probably wouldn't have known. So all good, all good. All good. Just know that I'm doing a lot better. Let's swarm Great White Sharpie. Swarm. What's going to happen to the Cardi medal? That's a good question because I haven't put the votes out for the last 15 weeks. I'm going to have to come to a decision at some stage on that because I really enjoyed it last year. And I was always wanting to do it this year, but I haven't got votes at all. So it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, but it wouldn't work if I decided to tell people to go through the votes for every game of the year after round 24. People wouldn't do that. People aren't just going to go through every single game. They're not going to be able to remember the best plays. And then if they wanted to really, they would forget that particular players had good games in like round 4. And if they were wanting to be so dedicated to it, they just pick the best fantasy stats. So I don't think I'm going to do it. Or if I am, I'm going to have to not do it fan voted. But like if all things go well next year, I'd want to do it. Send like 5 people the raw footage and see if you like any of their styles. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. That perhaps for like, I don't know, would it work better for smaller videos or for like I wouldn't get people to put 80 hours of work into like let's say the stadium video I did last year, only for me to go, oh, it was all right. Oh, you put 80 hours of your time? Oh, okay. I'm not going to pick you. I'm not paying you, but that's okay. Good work. A lot of members in the stream at the moment. A lot of blue. Oh no, those are mods. Never mind. I will not be hiring Sammy. Come to Eastside Woolies. So Joshy G. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I saw you at some event this year. I swear I saw you. I don't know. You came up to me. How are you going? G'day, go time. Or says Will, but g'day. Genuinely, how have you been, go time? Had a skull surgery and a skull fracture. Fucking hell. Do you think about coming back to Mullum Mullum? Probably not anytime soon. But maybe. Hi, Harley. All right, I'm up to date. I think in 8 minutes at 10 o'clock, we'll do my footy tips for people that asked and maybe look at the fixture and have my thoughts on the fixtures ahead. I still haven't really like been too up to date with every bit of footy news and all that. I've really just been recently getting back to like using certain apps and like watching more games. So it won't be a huge footy chat or anything like that, but it was more just a stream to be back. How long have I been streaming for? Okay, so maybe this will be like a 2 hour and a bit stream. I know there's still like 100 in the stream, which is more than I thought I'd get, to be honest with you. Although it might just be because it's the first stream back. I don't know. Will I be playing any Wattle Park games this year? I'd probably not. Realistically speaking, I think I'll try and get to a game to watch, but I don't think I'll be playing, to be honest. Ollie McDonald, I missed the start of the stream. Where have you been? Yeah, look, might not be possible for everyone to want to go back through the entire stream and listen to everything, but long story short, that's what I was meant to say to someone else's comment. That's what I forgot the term. Throughout the entire year, my mental health got on a bad decline with content. I was just didn't feel the way that they have, and I needed to. I guess I'll go from last year. I had a content burnout. I tried to do things differently, but the pressure of the footy season starting again and trying to better myself came too suddenly. I felt like I was already behind, and slowly over the weeks becoming on my identity, which coincided so much with being someone that made content for the people watching. I made just less content, more mistakes, kept falling behind, not being accountable. I wouldn't even check my YouTube comments or studio. I checked YouTube studio like twice in like 3 months because I was so ashamed. And then it kept going to a state where I just about stopped doing content. I missed one video, not like I tried to miss it. I just ended up missing it because I was terrible with the way I planned it. I couldn't even bring myself up to filming. So I ended up just needing time away. And the first month where I wasn't making content, I wasn't doing anything to help myself really. I was making things worse. But lately it's been better, and I'm back on the streams and looking at a very different approach with all things. So there's that answer. And for the people that wanted to know and didn't listen beforehand, there is the answer to the Ollie McDonald question. How come the AFL community died? Well, yeah, I don't know much of how the community's been this year because I've just not felt involved enough. So, I mean, if this is the year that the YouTube community's died, I picked a good time to be offline. Hopefully, you can get back to a little bit more, I guess a little bit more active. That'd be good. Dead Fish with a $3 says, just a smiley face. Thanks for the message and the dono. Jesus, Geordie. Like, I did talk earlier about like channel goals and what I'd like. I'm not going to be too worried about like subscribers as much. Like, it's obviously important to have that as an aim. Try to reach an XYZ amount of subs. I'll show you how maybe the last 90 days look on. I haven't even checked my sub count in ages because I couldn't. I was like the fact that the numbers were going down resonated with the fact that I was a failure, even though obviously like I'd stopped making content. What do I expect? So I'd be interested to see if I actually did, see if I can get that number up again. But I'm not as worried about subs, to be honest, at least not for this next period. I'll tell you more. Our struggles and yeah, okay. Yeah. Again, for those, I do have more time up my sleeve to get back to people if they need, but rest be assured, if they're longer messages, they'll take a little bit longer to respond to. Do you watch F1? No, I don't. Really, I don't watch F1, but I've kind of been getting tiny bit more involved in it. I've watched a couple of races, but more just when I've had mates over. That's sort of when I've been watching races. And who's my favorite racer? I don't really have a favorite, but I feel like everyone would probably say Piastri because he's Australian, so him. But like, I don't know much more about the fact that he's Aussie. How are you feeling during the filming process of that bingo video last year during the grand final week? Good question. I mean, that sort of, I kind of just in a way felt rushed, and I just sort of didn't have anyone there that I could rely on to film for me. It was all right, but it was still sort of rushed, unprepared, kind of spontaneous. Did I even need to film that video? Was I doing too much? Was that actually something I needed to do? I don't think I'll do another video like that in the near future because it didn't quite meet the effort. Reward for effort wasn't there. And it also felt a little rushed. Even though I thought the video was all right, but it didn't do well. Well, thank you, Ollie. I appreciate that you've understood my point of view. It's always good to have that understanding that the people that have been watching do relate, or if they relate, or if they just understand. Yeah, definitely, Chappy. I guess you could call it the next chapter in my life, even though in a sense, if you look at it like in a way, I'm still sitting down doing content. In certain ways, the things seem the same, but they're not, if you know what I mean. But so yeah, definitely, Chappy. Why would you want to be part of the community? Well, the community is everyone that gets around that is in the streams and understands sort of footy content creator lore in a way. Obviously, I'm doing my own thing. I don't have to do what others are doing, staying in my own lane. But the community, the AFL community, all of those that have pioneered, I would almost say, football content creation on like Instagram and TikTok. Like, if Caden McDonald didn't start making YouTube videos in 2017, I don't even know if that. Obviously, eventually others would have come, but he started it all. And like when I started YouTube semi-seriously, I don't know if there was anyone actually posting Instagram Reels weren't even a thing. TikTok wasn't really where it was now. There just was so little that you honestly, if you start at the right time, you have everyone's got the eyeballs on you. Are you going to the EJ Witten's game? When the fuck is the EJ Witten's game? Because wildcard week's when is it? And who's playing in it? Fuck on us. 7:30 p.m. on the Thursday. Oh, so a wild card week must be the same week then. It must be on the Friday and the Saturday. Has to be, yeah. Can you do a chocolate milk dance for 57.5k subs? 60k would feel pretty good, to be honest. 60k. Obviously last year I would have aimed more than 60k for this year, but I don't know if I'll get 60k this year. I think whilst you were gone, we had the Ripper and Fipper finale. And I haven't watched that yet. Like like if I did reacting to videos, I have missed out on most of the content that has been posted this year. But for what I've been hearing, there hasn't been a lot of it. Verstappen, fair, yeah. Max Verstappen. Have you made an AFLW fantasy team? Should I? Like, I only barely got to finish. Like, I only barely got to where I am now in the classic fantasy. Am I gonna go a full 12 weeks of AFL women's fan? I don't know enough about. Probably will. I actually probably will, because then it would mean the women's games a bit more worthwhile watching, to be honest. And I like how they have double headers for the first few weeks. It's cool that the Saints are starting the year against the Blues at Marvel, but will I actually be dedicated enough to go a whole 12 weeks? If I talk about it on stream, probably. If I've got people doing it with me, I guess they'd be like, oh, have you updated your team for round 2? So maybe, yeah. I'm not going to build my team tonight, but maybe I'll do one. But I haven't made a team. I'm only just on the website now. What the How expensive are some players? How can you be so expensive? 1.38. All right. Have you seen Kept Up? I've watched all the Spider-Man movies, but I don't like. I'm not huge into the lore. I'm an avid fan or anything like that. I've never really have been an avid fan for any franchise, to be completely honest. But I do want to watch the new Spider-Man movie. When I get to the opportunity of watching it, if I end up watching it. Pro Jank Footy releasing soon could be good for content. Yeah, so the bloke that runs the game sent me an email about it, but I answered it, but I don't know if he got back to me, because it was probably during a period where I didn't think of even answering any of those emails. I couldn't even open Instagram, so probably I'll probably see if that guy still wants me to do something. That'd be cool. I have seen the game. But that was the demo. Do you think you'll get to 100k next year? I won't set unrealistic expectations, man. Probably not. Hope you're feeling better and well. I am. I'm feeling better. I'm not feeling. I say feeling better as in like improving, not like I'm where I want to be. But yeah. You can't even gamble in a casino in Australia. I think that's. I'm not going to read out comments that are in reference to other comments, because that won't make sense to me. Everyone from our chat have definitely taken a step back on for the content side of things, fair enough. I've said this before, but it was never going to really be real. Like, people have other things in their life that they need to worry about. Like, for almost everyone that did content, it wasn't enough for them to self-sustain. They needed a plan B. And I don't think I realized that for a very, very long time. Because when I started doing content, I should have been probably more involved in uni, but there are many reasons why I didn't give a shit about uni, and I just sort of left it under the ruck. I'm like, oh well, it's not that big of a deal, I'm only 18, I'm just fresh out of school, I'm making money doing YouTube, this is cool. And it kept going. The people that I was close to were, albeit, were still in high school, a lot of them. So maybe I matured later than I would have wanted to, because I was still sort of growing up with, or making content still in group chats with people that were like 3 or 4 years younger, a lot of them. And now that they're all out of school, it's a lot different. They're not going to still be making YouTube videos, a lot of them, and in their house, getting 800 views a video. You know what I mean? So I've got the audience, and to be honest with you, I probably should have made more use of how large my audience was for a long period of time, but was maybe too immature to understand how to do that. And now this is why this new chapter hopefully is different. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Legends game not clashing with the All Australian. When is that? I'll probably stream that this year. Glad you're able to talk to us. Definitely, this has been a very refreshing and rewarding sort of stream. Make an AFLW fantasy team and Blake you'll invite. Yeah. Well, I've got a bit of time to do until I do that. I'm starting to get into content pretty cheap though, just making compilation videos. Fair enough. If you can somehow make money from compilation videos, do it. I mean, it's hacky, but like end of the day, Colleen was being a bit of a hack, but you look at it logistically and you go, well, fucking, you're making money. You're making money from it. So as much as I am under the firm belief that money doesn't buy happiness, you could give me one, and people think that I'm stupid for this, but you give me $1 billion right now, and I wouldn't be like you'd be happy. You'd be like, fuck yeah, 100. Like everyone would be like, fuck yeah, I've got to. But I wouldn't feel like I've done anything to deserve the money. I've not earned it. I've just been given it. I haven't got the skills taught yet to figure out how to sustain the money, keep the money, invest in the money, all of that shit. I reckon that would do my head in. And if you've got that much money, people look at you differently because you got the money. Like, it's the same with fame, really. Like, if I think about it, if I had 20 subscribers, well, maybe I'm not a good example, but let's just say you're walking down the street and you see me, and then you see like an ice show speed. Who are you going to care more about? Maybe it's the wrong example because you guys are watching me for me, I guess. But let's say, I don't know, who's another example? Like a 50K subscribe YouTuber that you sort of know. Like more people are going to want to go the bigger one because they've got more clout. You can get more from them. You can get more views from them if that makes sense. So yes, obviously $1 billion would be great, but I want to earn the money. Make my own path and all that shit. None of us knew anything about AFLW. Yeah, fair. I do it more just so I can honestly just watch more games, more women's games, that is. And I think less people are going to do women's fantasy than men, so I'll probably be a better chance of winning if I could win it, like the whole thing. You can't even. I'm going to keep going down. Tips now. Tips in a bit. Tips in a bit. Tips in a bit. You'll know when I do tips because I'll be sharing the screen. It'll feel very weird because I haven't done tips in 11 weeks. So something that was so familiar has now kind of been removed from my day-to-day life. We can see where I'm in the footy. We can actually go through the footy tipping comp for those that aren't in it. Are you going to do that Frankson? No, I won't be doing Frankson this year. Well, the thing with the uni shit, and I do understand that I should have probably been more involved in it in 21 to 23. I'd have to restart everything. So I'd have to really commit to it. So that's something that I could see myself doing maybe, but at the moment, I haven't really thought about that yet. I started going for walks or taking runs to take my mind off things, and it helps a lot more. I'm sure you do stuff like that as well, but just yeah. That's what my therapist has been saying. Like, try and get exercise every single day. And I'll be honest, I still don't do it. And I'm not talking gym. I'm talking just going outside, going for a walk. I did that today. Mind you, I literally just walked to the milk bar to get I think I got an energy drink because I was bloody tired and I needed to do a couple of things. So I had headphones on. It was only like a 10-minute walk, but the fresh air was great. Have you bought any St Kilda themed bongs? No, I haven't been indulging in any of that sort of stuff, which is good. That would be more of a concern if I was a drug addict, to be honest. It would be a different. Are you still going to the gym? I haven't yet. I'll be not been going at all throughout the last couple months. Like I went a little bit when I tried to get my mental health back, but then I kind of stopped. So that's something that I'm going to do again because I've been, I made a little bit of an agreement with someone, and I think for the sake of me, like it's good to do it. So if I can stay consistent with this, I'm sure staying consistent with the gym wouldn't be as hard. Will you go on Caden's new pod? I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't been keeping too much up to date with the latest podcast, but I'll give maybe the Dan Does Footy want to listen at some stage because I haven't been keeping up with anyone's content. I know of the pod. I think it's good. I think it's cool. Maybe. I mean, I'm up for it now. I'll be honest with you. If he asked me like a month ago, he probably wouldn't have asked me a month ago. Like he's not. He knows I haven't been doing the best. I've been chatting with him a little behind the scenes, so perhaps I'll have a little bit more to talk about. But like a month ago, I wouldn't want to even talk about anything at all. So it would have been a pretty shit podcast. Would have been sat there just having no understanding of what my future or any even current the next day. I wouldn't know what to talk about. Pretty sure the awards night is on the Tuesday. Okay. Yeah. That's not that far away when you think about it. Money buys time, which buys freedom, which buys happiness. Yeah, to an extent. Hold up, I'm gonna keep going down. But like I said, I probably would feel better about myself if I was earning my own money. It's different. But if I got given the money, I don't know. Obviously, people here are gonna say they'll take the billion. Yo, Cardi, I'm looking to start a footy channel. Can I have some advice on what to do? It's a pretty shitty time to ask for advice because I haven't been making content. Look, I know it's probably not as big of an issue, but like obviously consistency is very important in the industry. If you're inconsistent, especially when you're starting up, if you built a good foundation of an audience, then it's a bit more. They obviously, as you can see on the stream, they're a bit more lenient and understanding if you take a bit of time off. But try to be a bit more consistent, or if you can, and try to stick to a little bit of a niche. But it isn't hard. I've struggled this year terribly with consistency. So. And not just with posting, with other things like, yeah. But if you want to make content, I mean, it's a good time to do it. And with AI, I'm not saying be one of those fucking shit channels, but like you can use AI to assist you in certain ways. Merch could get me coin. Definitely have considered it for a good 3 years, but I've always just thought of it, but never had the guts to like actually try to do more than just. I think that the furthest I got to trying to design merch was having a discussion with someone else and thinking of some concept designs, but I still think my headspace at the time was like, yeah, this merch shit, I just don't give a fuck about putting in the effort. I'm just going to think about tomorrow's upload. And then I just worried about tomorrow's upload. And then I just sort of worried about like the now. So I was kind of sort of seeking short-term rewards over long-term rewards, which is probably why I never got merch out. No Franger trip this year. Well, I might go to. I went to. Fun fact, actually, this is not a good thing, but not too long ago, I went to Frankston because someone that lives around the area was very excited to see me. So they wanted me to pick them up, but I'm like, all right, sure, because we're going to go to a family event. So I was like, fuck it. They don't have their license. I thought I'd pick them up. In the meantime, I figured I'd get myself a haircut, and I got a haircut in that shopping center in Frankston, the Bayside one, which I was on the stream. And my reverse, I don't have reverse cameras in my car, and the sensors are a bit shit. I was backing up, and I hit the edge of a fucking trailer. So I made a little dent in the back of the boot of the car, and I was really pissed off about it. Thankfully, the trailer, it was a freaking trailer, so they're sturdy as hell. Nothing happened to that. But that's my last sort of involvement in the Frankston area, and it wasn't a great one. And then, to make it worse, like I said before, I rocked up at their house, and they wouldn't answer the door. I knocked on the door 3 times, just fucking ghosted me after getting a fucking dint in the back of the car. So, yeah, fuck, I don't think I'll be back to Frankston. This is low-key a good podcast while I do stuff. Glad you're enjoying it, Total Joker. It's kind of like a chat with Cardi live in a way. Yeah, I was really inconsistent with the chat with Cardis. G'day, Bane. How are you? Good to see you on. I'm pretty unfit, lol. I mean, the one time I did play Spawn P in year 10, my heart rate was 208 beats per minute. No, I don't think. Well, it's isn't it 220 minus your age? Or am I getting the wrong figures? Isn't that the, like, your max heart rate is to, what is your max heart rate? Yeah, you subtract your age from 220, like you were in year 10, so you would have been like 16. So that probably isn't, it's probably not healthy, but I'm no fucking doctor. Let's keep going. And if anyone has advice for me, I appreciate it. Like genuinely, that would be great. I can jot down some ideas that I can put into the bank at some stage. Yeah, I know you don't like Dan it. Yeah, the fact that or the ability in the which Dan has grown his brand has been quite fucking like phenomenal in a way in the footy media. He just dominates. So look, it'd be cool to gain the skills and the insight that he has with his business. He treats it like a proper business. But yeah, so yeah, it would be good to get on him on like a bit of content sometime in the future if it ends up happening. I never asked, by the way, did Footy Feud get any good promotion from the sponsorship? I don't really know. I mean, it was one of the first few brand deals I actually took up. So we just agreed on it. I agreed doing a video. They agreed on a price, which was pretty decent price. I won't say what it is, but like I don't actually really know how the sales went. I haven't really asked. I don't know. Is that something you're meant to do? I'm so new to that, to be honest, and still learning. Why did you comment yuck on the round 20? Because I don't like it. We can talk about that in a bit. I don't like the fixture as much as last year's. Footy channel's pretty vague. Think about one and particularly want to focus on AFL lower tier footy. Well, I don't think my forte is podcast / analysis stuff. I'd like to get more podcast skills and experience, but I wouldn't be very good at running one. I know that from a previous sort of experiences. And like, I guess if I get fronted with a question that I haven't really got the ability to answer, I'd kind of fumble under pressure with podcast. And being a host, I still haven't really gained the skills as much as I'd like. But yeah, it's probably just kind of like what Dan does with just taking the piss out of footy, just having a laugh, showing more of my personality, because that's a good reason why a lot of people watch. Like, not to be rude or anything like that, but I do wonder if like one of the more analytical footy content creators, I'm not going to name anyone in particular, but if they decided to do a stream where they just talked about random shit, will they get the same amount of views or viewers? Because most probably are just there for the analytical side of things of a so-called club. So I've got more of an opportunity at perhaps expanding to other areas of content if I wanted to do non-footy stuff as well, for that reason. Mental illness is a very horrible thing to go through. I know from experience. All I can say, mate, is one foot in front of the other. Exactly. And yeah, there are still some shit days, but I'm getting more good with the bad. And I'm just doing, yeah, I'm just focusing on other things as well as, just what I've in previous years and all that. It was more just content. That's all I cared about. And it didn't last. So yeah. When do you want to go golfing again? I don't know. I mean, my dad wants to go golfing. He actually told me the other day, like he said to me, does Will, like, we ask Will if he wants to go for a round of golf. So that'd be good. I mean, I'm just so inconsistent when I play golf. Driving range, that is. I don't play full golf, but I'm really inconsistent. I have one really good day where I can hit the ball sweetly, and then I can have other days where they just can't come off the club. But when we were there last time, I had a really crap start. I switched the angle of my club and I hit the ball really well. I use AI for my basketball thumbnails. It's not too. I didn't even know you did basketball content, Go Time. Maybe I'll have to hit up a reaction to videos. Like the thing is, because I know, like my how do I explain this the way I want to? My subconscious or what I've been so familiar with for so long in my life with doing the content, that part of me is kicking back again, which makes me want to do a lot now. Like I want to rush into doing a react and vid stream. I want to catch up with everything sort of, but like if I engulf myself in all of that too quickly, then I'll probably collapse again, or it won't be the same form of return. So that's why I'm just going to just slow it on that. Maybe I won't do a react and video stream anytime soon. Dan got my channel terminated. Shit. I literally had no idea that was the case. Again, I'm not sure if it was Dan himself or perhaps it's the management team, but we'll leave it on that. I don't want to go into details about stuff I don't know about. Would you recommend me buying a Siblings of Styles jumper? Well, I want to reach out to them again, let them know that I'm back and can be slightly more trusted, because I felt bad. Like, I'll show you the jumper; it's good, and I've had people actually tell me that, you know, they think it's cool and shit, and like it's like the design's actually cool, and the thing is, I never really talked about it at all. Um, Besides one or two tipping videos, because like that was sort of it. Um, and I felt like so much pressure to do it. And I never really got back to the guy as much as I'd like to. So if he's still like kicking about, if he somehow watches this back, he can hit me up again. I'm like open to doing some more things like that, because I think doing things that I am not familiar with and learning as I go will make me better in the long run. Dan sure does love himself. Well, on the surface, his life is pretty good. He's got a pretty hot wife. I think they're married. He's got a kid, so you know, done well to get to that stage in life and banging views. But I get, you can have the most successful YouTube channel in the world and still be depressed. So it's not all about the views. Trust me. I know. I definitely know. Asking this question: am I doing this because I want to do this, or am I doing this to upkeep a schedule to make others happy? Yeah, that's very important to ask. And that was for a long time in the start of the year. That was how I felt. I felt like I had to do it for others. Which is why, again, like if I put a video out that does shit and it does shit, but I actually enjoyed it, might be a better thing than putting out slop that is only put out because it does well. Well, I didn't know that was your second channel. Why are action cameras so expensive? I've got no idea. I actually don't know why. Okay, well, I think I'm up to date with the comments. Maybe we'll talk for another 10 minutes. I know I've gone a little longer than I sort of said I was, but I'm kind of enjoying this, sort of. Hopefully you guys are as well. I'll do my tips, and I'll do that in like 10 minutes. Maybe talk about a few small footy topics heading into the week. Figure out if I'm gonna do a stream on Friday or not, and then I'll clock off soon, because I do want to try and stream. Like, I want to be a bit more. I don't know how do I explain. I just don't want to just stream late for the sake of streaming late. Like, just because I might have a few extra viewers, like that's not really how a lot of other streamers run. You should try and get a sponsor that just stays up on the stream during stream. Yeah, that could work. I'm just not very good at the negotiation side of things, like being dead honest. Gone the pies over the cats, unfortunately. I just feel they'll be too good for us. So I don't know. I actually don't know. There are quite a few games that I actually wouldn't know. I'd have to think of them on the spot. When I do my footy tips typically when I do my footy tips, I have an idea of what to say before I say it. It's just hard for me to just think of, like, especially when I want to sound semi-smart. I feel like I'm not known as like that insightful with my takes. It's kind of like surface level knowledge, maybe a little bit more expertise than usual, but I'm not like, it's more fun. That's why people watch me, probably, I think, more than the actual real analytical stuff, because you could probably see like you could watch experts' opinion on that, or like first crack, but they don't really do footy tipping, I guess. I mean, for footy tips, I guess, yeah, people, I don't know why people watch me for footy tips as much, but yeah, like what was I going to say? I don't actually know what I was going to say. What point was I making? Oh yeah, with scripts and stuff. Like it's hard for me to ramble on something for especially when I do cut my videos as well. If I'll be honest, this is the first Just Training stream I stayed on for the whole duration. Well, it's the first one I've done in like 7 months. Just Chatting streams were the thing not too long ago. Yeah, yeah. No, it's good that you've enjoyed. Oh, we got a donation in the stream from Madeline. Let me just quickly read the full name. Madeline Garcia. Thank you. I don't know if that's the first super chat or not. Normally it would say, I'll read the message. I think a lot of people can relate to you, what you're going through. You learn a lot about yourself, and in the darkest moments, you'll come out stronger. Appreciate that a lot. That, lifts up the spirits when I read messages like that 100%. And that's the important thing, just continuing to improve it and to try and be a better version of myself. I say there are still fucking days where I feel like I've done nothing. Even Monday, I genuinely didn't really do much for myself. I got up late because I still felt like I didn't know when I was going to return to doing streams or videos. And because of that, I didn't have really much else to kind of do. I still did a few things here and there, caught up with mates. I tried my best to stay up to date with everyone that's reached out, but I didn't really do much else in between. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot. And obviously the $10 is generous as well. First crack is rubbish since Jay. Yeah, he does sort of point out the obvious a lot of the time, doesn't he, Jay Clark? He's not as good as the other two. He's not woeful. I enjoy normal people talking about footy over listening to media train pundit. Yeah. I do still feel like my takes can be a little bit vanilla at times, or I sit on the fence. But I don't know if others notice it as much as I do. I think I over-noticed it. I've heavily over-noticed it at the start of the year. I, for whatever reason, had a complete different perspective of what I wanted to be. So I judged myself so harshly on streams. I feel like I wasn't analytical enough, or I wasn't saying enough about this or enough about that. And I put too much pressure on myself that I ended up just thinking the streams were fucking shit. And I reckon that it affected the performance of some of them for sure, because I wasn't feeling it. And Finn's given a $50 donation just like that. I mean, I have it's a joke. I know it's a joke in the way I say this, but technically I have saved you a lot of money because you've been one to do these stream taxes, which you don't need to do, man. You don't need to do. I haven't streamed in a while, so the $50. Yeah, I guess I don't know if it's got anything to do with the fact that I haven't streamed for a while, but thank you for the 50. I don't know. This is probably the amount that was missing over the break. I still probably say this. YouTube take a portion of these money donations away. So if you want to just maybe instead PayPal me like what Kai Mori did instead, then I'd get all the money if you wanted to do it all into my account. But regardless, appreciate it. But YouTube also and Google would appreciate that as well. Advice would be don't waste your 20s being depressed. Yeah, it's easier said than done. It's easier just to say, oh, don't be depressed. But yes, it's it's the thing is there are so many things in my life that I still have time in my life, but I wish I had achieved or have done or lived through growing up, during school, even during the YouTube era. But that's not to say that, again, I can't do it while still doing this. I remember last year, or in the last 3 years, I could not bring myself to go away. If there was ever an opportunity where I was like, go away to Europe for 2 or 3 weeks, or go to USA, I'm like, no, I couldn't do that because it's during the footy season. It would screw me up. But all it would really be was just screw me from going to a few games here and there. If I was smart about it, I could still enjoy a really good footy trip and either plan a couple videos for the trip or not post, or only do a small amount, or lower the load, or do short form stuff, or just do a few live streams of games. I don't know why I had that mindset, but now that's completely shifted over the last few months, where if I did next year decide I want to go to Mexico for a couple of weeks to visit family, I could do it during July. It's not going to fucking kill me. It won't kill me. I was watching YouTube and Bear the other week, and an old bit of stream played, and he reacted to a Studi exposed vid on Nick, and it showed Nick's original exposed video on Studi. I've seen a few of Nick's posts on the like Damien Skyfire and those sort of people, that sort of side of the community. I've seen a lot of those sort of posts. I thought he quit YouTube. Well, I don't know why he's sort of yapping on about all that. I've seen him pop up on my feed. You're in the prime of your life. Gary V. Yeah, well, in the grand scheme of things, you are right. 50 is still young. Don't give up on your dreams and your aspirations. Going to Europe next year in June 25 or June for 25 days. Never been to Europe. I'm sure I'll go at some stage. Fun fact, I've got a German passport. I've just got to renew it, but like that's very valuable. Like it's a very, very valuable asset. I think it's one of the more, it's one of the more, I'm forgetting the word, like one of the most valuable or like most, I guess valuable is the word, sort of passports in terms of the access to as many you get, or strongest. I think that's the word. One of the strongest passports in the world, obviously in the EU and all that shit. Also random. My favorite car mystery was that. Yeah, like even looking back on that, it was funny. I'm actually glad how that turned out, but it was that stream was so chaotic because the person that did the hair was someone who said that they claimed to be a professional, but they turned out they knew nothing. My favorite moment will forever be the Phil Thorpe kick the goal stream. Yeah, it'll be a memorable moment in the Cardman folklore. It had the iconic Subway isn't even open at 3 o'clock. Oh, jeez, maybe I'll get to watch that at some stage. All right, let's just get on with the next part of this stream, which is just short, but I don't mind the idea of actually explaining my footy tips for the week because, you know, people have been wanting to know my footy tips for a while and I've been not doing them. So definitely glad I've jumped on the live stream tonight because, yeah, like in the last few months, there have been some live streams where I've not wanted to do it. I've done it. I've ended up feeling even worse after it. So this has not been that stream. Do I have a scene ready for this? Let's see. Do I have a scene ready for reacting? I should. All my scenes are all messy though. Another funny moment was when you were playing Fall Guys, you didn't qualify and you legit threw yourself on the floor. It got onto a back in the day when there'd be Fall Guys highlights, like the big channels would make like Fall Guys compilations of like streamers failing or whatever. I was actually in that, which is sort of funny. I'm gonna use the. I don't think the audio went through there at all. The Fall Guys stream when you want. Yeah, I had fucking no idea what I was doing when making those streams, but it was fun. Trying to find the right scene. I don't want to create a new one. So I've got like 30 on my OBS. There's no need to do a new one. Hello. There we go. All right. We can check to see what's happening with the footy tipping competition as well. And I'll actually react to the comments. I'll react to the comments that I have not really seen. I briefly had a look at some of them on the video on my I did like a TikTok stream yesterday for a bit. Before we do the tips, and talk about the games real quick. Oh, that Christmas Eve stream was crazy. Apparently, most of the donations were from someone that we know, but I don't know if I buy that. Let's see. How am I doing in my own comp? Probably shit. So I'm 769th. Should I shout out every winner that had missed their own shout out? You'd feel a little bummed out the one week you actually do the best in the comp and I didn't make a video to acknowledge it. So when did I stop doing the footy tips? I don't remember what round. I'm just glad I'm actually having a look at all this stuff because for a long period of time I couldn't even click the YouTube app because I just thought of this. But now I'm just deciding I might as well. I can't hide away from it. Eventually I have to check. And if you've just joined me, feel free to go and check back some of the replay of the stream to find out what's been going on. But it's been a positive stream, and I'm not quitting. I don't want people to think I've quit. So yeah, like you can understand what I mean by like just the content was very stale. It was like forced. I knew that just posting this and that was it was never really getting me anywhere. It was sort of just only keeping myself by. But the last one was around 11. So round 11 was the last one. So who did the best in round 12? I don't even remember. I don't actually remember round 12. Let's just. The thing is, there's so much footy I've missed out on. I wouldn't mind even having a little review of particular games. So St Kilda Hawthorn, like, that was a shit house game. It really was. That was a great game, but I didn't even watch it. Like I genuinely did not even watch it. That was during my state of. I'll tell you which games I have watched. I watched this game. I watched bits and pieces of all of these games. I watched quite a bit of this actually. Didn't watch any footy on Sunday. So this was the week I went to Adelaide. I watched some games because I was with people, so I sort of had to. I watched I watched bits and pieces of these games. I watched this game, and then I went to this game. So I watched some footy. I watched some footy that week. Then I don't know if many people know this. I was up in Queensland for this weekend for a few days because I agreed to go before I got really bad. So if it was like a few weeks before, I wouldn't have said yes. But I was in Queensland for this week, so I actually went to this game. Didn't make a single post or story about it at all. It was like I silently went. Even everyone I was close to didn't know I went. Only like 2 people knew, but like a few people knew. So I think obviously I watched that game. I didn't watch this game, and I went to this game. This is the last St Kilda game I went to for like a month. I listened to this game on the radio, by the way, driving back from the airport. Didn't watch this game. I think this is the last game I went to for a while, and that was when Australia played Paraguay. And then like one of my close mates, Callum, was like, "Do you want to go to the game on Friday?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was in good spirits after the Paraguay game, even though it was one of the worst games in the World Cup. And then did not watch the rest. I did not watch that game. Did not watch that game. I don't even know what I did. I cannot even tell you. Didn't watch any of these games. Didn't even watch the highlights. Didn't check anything. Didn't watch that game. Did not watch a single game this week, except for this game. I didn't go to it either. Didn't watch that game. Didn't watch that game. Watched bits and pieces after I watched Saints Port, and then that was sort of. I kind of watched a bit of these games. That was sort of when my state was getting a little better. Then things started improving. I almost wanted to go to Geelong Saints. I didn't feel ready to go. I did watch it at home. I watched half of this game. And then I went to this game. This is the first game I went to in a while. I went with Jack. And it was an enjoyable game just to go out and watch the footy. And then I did a few more things. I reached out. I caught up with a few more people. I watched some more of these games. And then, yeah, I watched some of these games, and then I went to quite a number of games. This was only London. I went to my first footy game, Saints game. That was North Saints. So yeah, I missed a bit. I obviously missed a bit, and I didn't read any of the chats whilst I was doing that. So I'll read those chats, and then I'll actually go through the quick winners, and then I'll do my tips, and then that'll be it, I reckon. I was going to go to Melbourne v Essendon, but I got a really bad cold. That's the weekend we had. Yeah. How did you think of you? Yeah, I mean, it was obviously sudden Neil Danaher's passing, but like it was going to obviously like he was deteriorating in health, unfortunately, with his condition. So yeah, it eventually just got too much for him. But he's obviously a genuine warrior of a human being. The amount of money he's raised in campaigning for M&D, stronger than probably anyone here could ever be. Not saying you can not match what he's done, but good luck with it. But yeah, it was pretty sad, wasn't it? Yeah, Nick, I did mention the Damien Skyfire stuff. If you're not making excuses, why bring it up? All right, let's go through the rounds 13 to 20. It's even done it for me. Who's even leading the comp? Coast Club used a joker. Isn't the thing is, it's hard to even know the relevancy of these because I don't know. I didn't even watch some games for some of these rounds. So it's hard to even know. How did I do last week? Like, let's just say I was doing a regular review, like review last week's games because I actually watched a few of them. Quickly do this. I'm not going to go on for too long. How do you do that? Tipping. How do you just go to tip now? All right. So all right. G'day guys. We're here to review my tips for round 20 and Thursday night Adelaide. Well, I really thought they were going to get that win to boost their chance at climbing into the top 4, but the Pies saw them off and really did it quite comfortably, won by 34 points. I'm just channeling my inner filming tipping video insight, so forget I'm even streaming here. We'll try my best. Channel my inner tipping review card man. Collingwood got the win by 34 points. Was 61 points off. Yeah, just underestimated Collingwood and their ability to win against sides that are ahead of them. I didn't think they were capable. Friday's games that's where I'd edit that. Friday's games, we had a double header. I wasn't a fan of the double headers, but this game was pretty good for most of it. But Geelong just, got the better of Melbourne. They were the better side. To be honest with you, I don't know enough about some of these. I can't actually explain what happened in a few of these games. I think, were Geelong inaccurate? Or I don't know. But Melbourne, that was their first loss to the G. Fuck it, I'm just going to talk normally. I'm not in a video. What am I doing? I'll talk normally. This isn't for YouTube, by the way. I'm not actually using this for a video. I'm talking like I'm in the... I talk differently, don't I? Like I wouldn't talk... It's like I'm talking to someone right now. But when I'm not, I'm talking... Like the tone's different. Like if I change it again... And then at 8:10 p.m, Fremantle smashed the Eagles. This one was an obvious one. If you didn't tip the Dockers, I mean, you're a sucker for that. Obviously, everyone would have got that one right. We moved to the Saturday games, and Carlton just got off the Suns there. And a pretty good game of footy. The Suns were up for a bit of it, but the Blues keep their wildcard chance alive. Hawthorn absolutely smashed Essendon by 93 points. Gunson kicked, was it 6 goals? And, they just had an absolute field day, the Hawks. Essendon, they're in a world of hurt right now. They're looking at being a real strong chance now for the Spoon, despite their win last week. I went the Giants in a little bit of an upset call. I thought their ability to knock off the best sides could come back there, but the Swans just proved their class. Goulden had a big game, Grundy, and the Giants were disappointing in a game they needed to win for their wildcard chances. We moved to the Saturday night game, the Bulldogs and Richmond. It was a bit of a nothing game. The Dogs saw off the Tigers quite easily. And the Tigers were pretty disappointing. They didn't show much. The Dogs were a bit too good. I did go to this game as well. Sunday games, we had the 2 on the Sunday. We start with Brisbane, Port Adelaide, and I went the Lions. It was kind of an obvious one. Port Adelaide saw them off for a little bit, but the last quarter was a bit of a smashing, a bit of a bloodbath Lions way. I think Zach Bailey and Ashcroft were standouts in that game, and it'll be interesting to see How much more money Zach Bailey is demanding after that performance. With the last game, a big game for the Saints. So sort of a mini wildcard final, if you call it that, but North Melbourne were inaccurate. They just could not stop Nasai, banged forward 46, and we won by 31 in a good game. My first footy game that I attended in 4 weeks. All right, we banged off last week. Let's not now talk like I'm in a video because I normally make more mistakes. Rehearsing for I need to do my rehearsals, don't I? All right. I'm not going to let people influence this. Or should I let... No, well, I don't. I don't have others influence my decisions with my footy tips. This one's really interesting. Collingwood Geelong. I would actually perhaps just get the chat involved. So what would the chat even think with this? Go Time reckons Collingwood, but I haven't really checked the ins and outs at all. Hold up. I need to copy this. It would be quite odd seeing someone randomly join as I was doing that. You could see how frustrated... I know. It's actually really cool seeing a different voices back to... I mean, to be honest with you, that's probably the first time I've done that on a stream or like so... it's that you can notice it so much. You don't have to give... I mean, if you want to give reasons to why... You did that one time you let Mac... Yeah, I did let a KFC worker do it. But I was very quick with it. Because it was pretty awkward. Catman got his motorbike service, so I'm going Cats. Look, I think the Cats are a better team. I think they're better. They'll be better suited for this game. And I think they're going to need, although they've got easy games coming up after that, I'm going to probably go Geelong. Albeit I will be with Collingwood fans or in a Collingwood area, so but that has no reason that wouldn't sway my pick either way. So I'm going to go Geelong. Margin, hopefully it is close. Let's go 7 points. All right, next up we got Friday. 97% Fremantle, 3% the Bulldogs. I don't think I need to go too much in depth with this in terms of who's more likely to win. I'm guessing everyone thinks Freo. I have really valued how Freo have gone this year because I've not been as invested in footy this year or with watching games as closely. So yeah, I mean Freo haven't really gotten the flowers that I should deserve to be giving to them. They haven't lost a game at home. The Bulldogs can actually beat the good sides this year, can't they? Can I check the lineups? Not yet. I can check lineups for this game. Schultz in, and Martin Dangerfield out. Nothing too drastic, but I've already got Geelong. Geelong 97, Collingwood 81. Well, no one's really having a discussion about this game. Friday night, Freo v Bulldogs. I'm probably going to say Fremantle. I mean, it's obvious. I don't really... Yeah, Bulldogs might go at them for 3 quarters, perhaps, but if Freo have any quarter like they did against the Swans, and there's no chance. Speaking of Swans, Saturday, August 1st. Look, I've tipped the Saints my fair share of times against some of the better teams, and they haven't gotten up against any team above them. Like, we are such an average team right now. We've lost to Geelong. Lost, and lost. Won, lost, but that's when they were good. And then we won all these games. I think it'll be a cagey. I do think this will be a close game because it's at Marvel. We've actually, I don't know if we found mojo after the North game, but we looked okay. Naz is in red hot form, so Sydney have to look out for him. And TDK Marshall, Sharman back in the team. Lake was good against Geelong. I'm gonna go the Swans. Probably still the Swans. No Norton. I'm hearing for the Dogs. Yeah, and he's been not as good as the last couple of years, but he's been very reliable for them this year. I would have thought they surely. Well, they'll be hunting revenge, but I'm going to be safe and go Sydney. I don't think we'll beat. I want to obviously see us win, but I think it'll be a case where we actually don't beat the sides ahead of us, but still scraping the 10th. Hawthorn North. I mean, I'm not going to go into any more explanation other than a Hawthorn tip. Kind of obvious they'll win that game, I think. North haven't beaten Hawthorn since 2019 either. And North get exposed defensively quite badly. And as well, St Kilda, the shows we're better than North, but the gap between the Saints and the Hawks is that severe. And it's at UTAS. I'm definitely going Hawthorn. All right, Port Adelaide GWS. This one's a hard one. Giants are so hard to get a read on. You tip St Kilda. That'd be good. Hope you're right. Look, I'll probably have I want to say the Giants, to be honest. I want to say the Giants. I do want to say the Giants. I tipped them last week, but I feel like they'll bounce back. They have more to play for. And Port will make it, I think it'll again be kind of close, but Port losing a close game. GWS are the better team, but Port Adelaide probably would expect to win at home against the Giants. I'm going to go the Giants. People on the stream said the Giants as well. This game, this is a big game. I'll be heavily supporting Brisbane in this, by the way, because it would mean Carlton go ahead of us, and this isn't a game they're expected to win. They have obviously been a lot better under Josh Fraser, but I think they're still a middle of the road team. But they have their games where they can beat the best, and Brisbane. But the Brisbane are in some good form. I don't think they're going to drop this. When was the last time Carlton beat Brisbane at Marvel? I'm going to have Brisbane. We want them to win. Everyone wants them to win that wanted wildcard spot. All right, Richmond, West Coast. This is a hard one. Actually, no, not really. I think West Coast, to be honest. Richmond have shown nothing as of late. Richmond have been really poor in the last few weeks. West Coast have been a bit more competitive, and they can probably beat Richmond. Gold Coast, Melbourne. Well, I think you've got to tip Melbourne on form. Like, I feel like I've tipped an upset, but I'll probably be real here. I don't think I can see Gold Coast winning. They're done. I can't believe how badly they've fallen. I haven't, especially when I wasn't watching footy for a good 2 or 3 weeks as closely at all. It didn't take my notice as much until I checked the ladder and I look at Gold Coast. Like the last time I saw them, here when I was at the Gold Coast Hawthorn game, they were still okay. Now they're bottom 4 territory. They'll be bottom 4 if they lose and Port win. Melbourne, and then this is easy. Adelaide. Adelaide will beat Essendon. I reckon Adelaide beat Essendon by like 78 or 80 points. They'll be wanting revenge over last week. Well, not even revenge. They just want to come back. They want a response. What do you reckon? Does that give me a 9? Do I have my Joker left to play? I don't think I do, but if I did, I still have my old freaking footy comps. Look at this. How do you delete them? I would have deleted them if I had the opportunity to. Fuck it. These are the. Why? It doesn't matter. I'll set Jokers for comps that don't make a difference. That don't matter. I'm still live. Jack, is that you? Yeah, I'm probably about to wrap it up though, to be honest. But it's been good live, good to be back. Good return stream. Nothing too special, just a nice return stream. Well, I'll quickly give you my thoughts on the fixture as well, and we can discuss if we want to. More so, more so 23, but 23 and 24, they were the ones that got announced. And is it just me, or have they announced this earlier than they have in previous years? I feel like the round 24 fixture, they released it like a couple weeks before to know for sure if the games are going to be good. Go over the top 10 tippers in your league from last week. Yeah, okay. That is more relevant actually, because I remember last week. It'd be good if I don't forget to tip. Do you know the irony, right? I didn't have a round since I stopped doing the footy tips where I forgot to tip. Yet whilst doing the footy tips, I forgot to tip like 3 or 4 times. How ironic is that? So all right, so Nathan 07 with the highest score. How about fucking Donald Trump? I swear to God, I'm not even going to go there. Luca the footy fanatic, also. Oh, they've got the exact margin, both of them. But that's with a joker. Oh, well, that's with a joker. They got a 9, and then these. Oh, Will Hunnett. No wonder you wanted me to shout you out. You got an 8. You got 8 with a joker. You probably were never expecting a shout out because you probably didn't think I was going to go through this. And then these people all got perfect scores. Lockie got a perfect score. Was it a was it wasn't that hard of a round to tip. I just tipped some shit. I mean I messed. I shouldn't have tipped Giants. Which ones did I get wrong? Tipping Collingwood's a good. If you did Collingwood, fair play, fair play. G'day AFL Firefly. I'm going all right. Yeah, welcome to the people that have just joined. It's probably been a long time since you've last seen me, but I'm back. I'm gonna. It will be a slow return back to content and all that. I'm still finding my way and all that. But yeah, I enjoyed this stream just to get a bit of a refresh on what I've missed on at least footy and other people and all that. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I've put my tips in as well. I mean, I could almost do my fantasy trades as well before I stop because I do need to do that eventually. If you guys wanted me to do it live, you could help me out even. But I just want to look at this round 23. So the reason they don't have the Thursday game is because there's a women's game clashing. All right, whatever. That's fair. That's fair enough. They've got to do better to promote women's footy. So having a standalone game is good, but they better be a good game. If it's a shitty game, then it's a waste. This is interesting. So they've brought in 2 MCG games in one day. Marvel have now 2 games in one day every few times a year. They've introduced that. I'd like to hear the thoughts on that in the chat. I mean, I guess it gives the AFL more flexibility and allowing more games to be scheduled on one day in Melbourne than they can before. It sort of works. Maybe I'll do 2 games in one. That could be kind of cool. But how early is that? 12:35 of the G. That might be the earliest ever game I've ever seen at the MCG. 12:35. Like fucking hell. Hopefully I'm not sleeping in for that. In terms of like other time slots, I mean, I don't like 2 games on. I don't like this shit actually. What? I don't really like 2 clashes. But then you can't really have 4 games on Sunday, can you? You could have a Sunday night game maybe. And also that's pretty late for an MCG game as well, isn't it? Hawks v Melbourne on that Thursday. Wait, what? Hawks Melbourne on that Thursday. Well, yeah. Obviously, you're gonna have Essendon Sydney as like a shitty time slot because no one wants to watch Essendon play. But I don't recall the last 4:40 game at the G. I really can't. This will be a good game. This is actually an important game for Carlton. If Carlton win this, I'll be tuning into this game. Hate watching Carlton. Like Carlton are the biggest threat to St Kilda right now, especially if they beat Brisbane. And then this is so weird and it's annoying because we get a 5-day break. To be fair, so do So do the Suns. But like, what geniuses thought this would be a good game to put on a Thursday? I would have said this game to be a Sunday. Like, I just don't know about the thought of having all these footy fans wanting to tune in on a Thursday to 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 watch St Kilda Gold Coast. That probably won't attract a huge fan base. And Saints aren't really the big team. They're not the best team this year. Suns are shit. So having them on Thursday is a bad idea in the starters. Collingwood Brisbane, I can understand that being Friday, but I honestly think that's more at stakes. I like having the more at stakes games on the Sunday. And like you look at these Sunday games and what is on the line. This is a shit game. At least they don't clash. But I think it's pretty crap. What does the chat think? Give me an honest answer. Do you like NRL? I don't follow NRL that much. I feel like I've been to an 8 to 10 game at the G before. 8 to 10 at the G. No. I'm not saying latest. I mean, if you're talking about that game, I mean like latest game on a Sunday. That isn't like a holiday, like a public holiday, if you know what I mean. Why are the 3 worst games for neutrals of the round all on Sunday? Wow, yeah, I know. These are all going to be pretty crap. It's not that exciting. Sydney v North is not a Sunday game. Have some decent games on a Sunday. That's why I think it's shit. They did well having Bulldogs free as the last game. I get Hawthorn could have a top 2 spot on the line, but that'll be it. It won't be as huge there won't be huge stakes. And then Melbourne Bulldogs. I mean, they probably get, but that could be a spot for 6th. There isn't much at stake as much as in other years, especially if Saints have locked in. But if the Saints lose this game and Carlton beat Freo, then we're in real trouble. But I think the Carlton Freo game honestly should be later as well, just in case. Or why wouldn't you maybe even have a Sunday doubleheader? But then I guess then you don't want to have the wildcard teams have like a 5 days break. Because that'll be Friday and Saturday, won't it? So these teams can't play in wildcard. North won't. You know they won't. I guess it makes sense. But it's pretty crap, isn't it? It's pretty crap. Let me know if you want tickets for Collingwood v Brisbane. Oh yeah, probably. I don't know what I'll be doing that weekend though. I haven't thought that far ahead. Hopefully, I'm still just progressing better, like not rushing. It's because the wildcard teams are playing on Sunday. Yeah, I get it, but like, I'm not as stoked to see us on a Thursday against Gold. Thursday do not attract big crowds. So that's not even going to get more than 20K, even if finals are on the line. It'll look shit. Yeah, the way this fixture looks, that may as well have released it. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about round 22, but it's the thing is, there's only 4 more weeks to go, so it does feel like I've missed out on a lot. It would be sort of nice if, like, I don't know, like the AFL decided to just, like, they can't do that, but like add in an extra 12 weeks, so I've got a bit more footy to talk about. But before I know it, there'll be footy season be over. Porter going to lose Butters but gain Cochrane. Well, they're not. What makes you think they're going to gain Naz? That there's no way of knowing that. That won't. I hope that doesn't happen. Have you done a ladder predictor this stream? Yeah. I mean, do you guys want me to do a ladder predictor? I just don't want to go. I said before, I do want to like have a sort of a routine when not routine, but when I finish a stream, I don't just want to like it's hard for me to go to bed straight after a stream. So I do want a bit of time to process after. I don't want to be like just late, so late. But should I? We all know the answer. They'll be like, yeah, they do want me to do it, won't they? Can I quickly just read the other comments? And by the way, I need water. My throat's so dry. Won't surprise me if they put wildcard games on Thursday and Friday. Um, no, they won't because the EJ game is on Thursday, so there's no way they're going to do that. Imagine they did that. How fucking dumb would that be? Give those two games to Friday doubleheader. Saints, Suns, and Carlton Freo. Both Saints and Carlton have no idea of the result. I mean, it's not the worst call, isn't it? I don't know. I don't really like. I mean, it works for the like, let's say EPL or World Cup where you have all the last remaining fixtures at the same time to avoid teams sort of purposely losing or purposely trying to play out for a draw. But I'd rather see the two games in its whole. I'd rather see both games in its entirety. I generally think having Carlton Freo would be better on Thursday. I don't know what the AFL are fucking dumb actually. Why the fuck have this game on Saturday and have this game on Thursday? Because it's like for if the AFL want audiences, they want to see the best team in the comp and Carlton always bring in a crowd. Why the fuck would they not do that? Now that I think about it. And St Kilda are more likely to be progressing than Carlton. So the chances are St Kilda might need to win this to secure a fucking spot, as opposed to Saints winning already and Carlton have nothing to play for. Genuinely. I didn't even see it that way. Now that fixture looks even worse. Have you played the footy? I played it once, but not on stream. Obviously not on stream. It wasn't around when I... Cheers, Josh. The way the AFL is going, they'll chuck at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. I've always pondered on those ideas, and like, just imagine for whatever reason the AFL decided to schedule Gold Coast GWS at the G 4 in the morning on a cold, rainy Tuesday night. What amount of fans would attend that game? Like, what would the crowd be for that? Who would go to that? Would people just go for the novelty? Like, obviously that will never happen. But you just wonder, like, how little of a crowd could you possibly get for a game? You'd go to that. See, the thing is, I'd probably go to that almost to take the piss. 200 people. I reckon there'd be more. I reckon there'd be a lot of like people that had just finished school, or even if they timed it right doing this during the holidays, there'd be people that will just for the fucking piss take. Like, I could see it being the biggest piss take game. You know, have a reason to stay up late and fuck around the city, go to that game, get wasted before. I don't know. Good video idea. Yeah, I'll just send out a letter to Andrew Dillon. Oh, it'd be great for content. Should have put Essendon City on Saturday, but I really wanted to go to that game. Is that the round 23 game? Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really make any difference. Like, they're not planning the fixture all around fidget MDCCLXI. What number is that, by the way? What number is MDCCLXIV? Alrighty, chat. Should we do a squiggle and fantasy and then we'll wrap it up? We'll hopefully be done in the next 15-20 because I do want to cool down and get to bed at not a terribly bad time, because I know it from experience. That's the whole reason why I'm doing things a little differently. If I go to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm more likely to wake up later. When will the gather round be out? It won't be out, is pretty much what is going to be the case. Even if I wanted it to be out, some footage is like on a SD card that's not pretty much fucked. So yeah. Or a game on a Tuesday at like 2 in the morning at GMHBA. True. Yeah, that would attract less of a crowd. True. That would definitely get less. All right. All right. We'll do a squiggle and then maybe do fantasy or maybe not. I'll have to do them regardless, but I could be going on forever. So we'll go by what I think will actually happen. And this, I guess, will make things interesting. What will the round 24 look like? What will teams be playing for? J Tomo, how are you? How you been going? I've heard you've stopped YouTube as well. I don't know if that's true or not, but thanks for the membership, 27 months. I am back. Yeah, I guess I'm back. Just sort of slow return. Finally decided, rip the band-aid off, check check social media again, get back to that, and finally back on a live stream. And I'm feeling as good as I've ever felt on a live stream probably this year. And I'm not just saying that. So for this, I think was Geelong, yeah, 7. Geelong by 7. Fremantle by. Should we just? Oh, let's you know, let's take part in this alongside myself. Let's get everyone involved. What margin? How much do you think Freo win on Friday? And if I stream this game, I'll let you guys know in advance. Saw a Pies fan, Punch North fan, and some rando attacking a V-line. Yeah, I don't know if on the line that I take for the Frankson line, if they're bus replacements this week. I haven't checked. 27, 28. All right, 5 goals. Fair. I've tipped the Swans. I'll honestly say it'll be another close game. Do I want to say less than a kick? It wouldn't be a bad return video if we lose by 3 again. I'll go Swans by 4. They'll find a way. Hawthorn, I think by 8+ goals. 62 points. Yeah, I think 8+ goals. That Saints Blues card's big. That Saints Blues game's big. Hawks 62. We'll go Hawks 62, sure. Can see that happening. 64, 65. Port Adelaide GWS. I did say the Giants, so we're going to have to stick with the Giants prediction. And I think it'll actually be by a little bit. Giants, their wins this year have been by margins, haven't they? 15 points. I'll let myself pick that. All right, Carlton Brisbane. Roll up the sleeves for this one. This one's an important game for St Kilda and Carlton. And the Giants, actually, now they won that game. Look at that. It would have been nice if Collingwood and the Bulldogs were on a few less wins. Then beating Adelaide pissed me off a bit. I am alive, CJ Coast. Feel free to watch some of the stream back when you get the chance to get more of an understanding on what's happened since I've been gone. When you do videos, talk like how you are talking now. But it's different. The tone of voice is different because I'm like, I mean, you probably, I get it, but it's probably harder to put into action than just saying it. Because I'm like, the way I'm speaking, I'm waiting to start. I'm not just going all at once, kind of. I'm talking for 10 seconds and then I'm stopping. If I had another person with me, probably wouldn't talk the way I did for videos. Like, let's just say, for example, I'm doing this for a video. Squiggle later predictor. All right, next up here we got Carlton. Why do I do that? I put on like a bit of an announcer voice, don't I? Next up we got Carlton. Even that, like I wouldn't do that here unless I've got. But I'm sort of giving off more energy. I need to give off more energy on a video as opposed to a stream for this at 11:13 at night. I think it's got to do with the energy that I portray. Carlton Brisbane. Carlton by 14. Shit, man. Look at all these messages. Well, I'm not doing Carlton because I already tipped Brisbane before, and I think Brisbane win. Could be a matter by how much. I think 24 points is fair. Richmond West Coast. I said West Coast. I said West Coast, and I think they could win by 18 points. I'll fly through these. I'm not. I don't want to spend a minute on each game. Gold Coast Melbourne. No, do Gold Coast not win another game for the rest of the year? They very well could. Melbourne win this game. I mean, they win, but by how much? We'll go 21. And then Essendon and Adelaide, I think it'll be in the 70s, to be honest. Adelaide can smash teams. They can belt teams. That's Gold Coast last home game. Really? So the next is this the Thursday game? What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. Bulldogs North, it won't be a blowout, but it'll be like 22 points. No worries, Sarah. I didn't know you were still watching. I didn't know you still watch. Thank you for sticking throughout the entire stream. Though it was good to see you here. I don't want to keep everyone up, and I don't want to keep myself up. So let's just speed through this a little bit quicker. We'll slow it down when we get to the last round. Brisbane Hawthorn. Am I actually like? Is the latency? Oh, the latency's fine. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Far out. What a game this is going to be. Holy wow. This I might need the chat to help me with this. Come on. You guys wanted squiggle. Give me something. Give me more than just one person. There's 60 odd. Just say a team. Just what do you think? What are your first impressions? You look at this, you go, all right, probably the winner plays top 4 for sure. Loser could well and truly even maybe go into the wild card territory if they lose another one. Hawthorn, Lions, Hawthorn, Lions, Hawth. I want to say the Hawks. I really want to say the Hawks. I genuinely think more the Hawks, but more people say Brisbane, so I'll go Brisbane by 8. Melbourne Freo. This is not a one-sided game either. Melbourne at the G are a different force, and I think Freo might rest players. And I think Melbourne might. Another one that I'll let the chat decide. I do actually think Melbourne win. And I could see 120 points for both sides. Yeah, it could be high scoring. Because I don't know Freo. I don't think they'll win their next 4. They'll drop one game. This is their probably most likely to drop. I'm probably going to say that this is their most likely game to drop. So we'll pick Melbourne. And I don't want to sway your need to pick certain teams, but I do think the D's here, 10 points. Sydney v Port. Sydney. You'd have to go Sydney. Sydney have found a bit of form again, haven't they? But Port make it hard to score against, so we won't go by a lot. We'll go 7-8 in a pretty boring defensive game. All right, I'll let you guys pick the margin. I'll sit back and I'll just look at the numbers go up and up and up because we know where this is going to go. $93. We're going Essendon 93, Geelong 93, 100, 79, 96, 263, 44, 131, 19. We'll have to meet in the middle and we'll remove the outlier of whatever that number is from Ollie. And we'll go 88. 100 is on the cards, but 88 sounds about right. Adelaide, Richmond. Okay, put high numbers again, boys and girls. High numbers again. Somebody wants me to go to Cats Dons. Don't really want to waste my time. Yeah, but you might see a record-breaking margin in VFL AFL history. Like, I don't think I'd go to that game, to be honest. But if I did go, I'd go for that reason. Richmond by 32. Not a chance they do that. Not a chance they do that. Yeah, Adelaide, well, not many extreme numbers. We'll go like 52. All right, Giants v Gold Coast. This one, I think, should be obvious, but like you look at these two teams on paper and you think the Gold Coast Suns have a better team, but like this year they're just shit. Like if the Giants if the Giants play like against Brisbane and the Suns play like against Adelaide, they do win by 100, don't they? This isn't an irrelevant game though. Like you can't say this is irrelevant because GWS need it for wildcard. Giants win. It's a matter of by how much. I'm going to go 24 points. I'm not saying the Suns. I have no faith in them. Hardwick's done. Now, West Coast Collingwood. West Coast at home are they're not too bad. Like this is upset potential. Sure, yeah, Petrarca's been a disappointment so far, and he started off really well. Collingwood are in good form, and if they did beat the Cats, they're looking at top six. I haven't even. What is Collingwood's form? I don't even know what it is. They've won their last what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy, they've won 6. There's a shock. I had no clue they won their last 6. And I didn't tip them to beat Port. I don't know why I didn't. I didn't tip them to beat Gold Coast, and I didn't tip them to beat Collingwood or Adelaide. So they proved me wrong. I'm gonna have to go Collingwood. But yeah, fuck it, Collingwood by 35. Oh man, this game. This is really. This is the one of the games of the year. Weirdly enough, because it has so many ramifications. Like Saints lose, we're fucked. We really are fucked. We really are fucked. Is this where I decide to do my first poll of a long duration? Yeah, I can add a draw option, but don't pick the draw because that's not going to happen. Like, I don't tell me the last time a draw has occurred in a game between two sides fighting out for a final spot. It's worse for the Giants because they got to stay ahead of the winner. Well, the Giants would want a draw, wouldn't they? The Giants would love a draw. I mean, I'm saying at home, I think we're better than Carlton. I know the Blues now are different to the Blues back under Michael Voss, but I mean, I just don't know. I really don't know. They might vote Carlton. It annoy me here. They have voted Carlton, which pisses me off a little bit actually. That would really piss me off so fucking much. If we lose this game, maybe I'll go back into my cocoon again and stop with the content. I will, like, this is the double header, so I'll be at the women's game before if all things go to plan. I'm going to go 9 points Blues, but I don't agree. I disagree wholeheartedly. Next game, we got Freo Adelaide. Again, this is one of those games I could see Adelaide pulling a win from nowhere because they can still make top 4. They'll have more to play for. But in saying that, Freo won't lose at home this year, so we'll go Freo by 22. I'm not doing polls for every game. Home side always losing. Yeah, true. Well, that has to end eventually. The closer, the more the streak lasts, the closer it is until the streak ends, if you know what I mean. So there has to be come a point of time. Tiggs with an upset? Nah, we aren't 2025 St Kilda. We will definitely beat Richmond. This is like I'm very, very confident we win. And we probably win by 40 to 50. If we're going to be honest. Yeah, you haven't been watching Saints games if you think Richmond will come close. Saints by 55. We got good percentage over GWS and Carlton. North v Geelong. North are looking like they're going to fall here. Look at this. Probably Geelong by 31. They find some goals late. Brisbane, the Suns. Suns have nothing to play for. Brisbane have a top 4 spot to play for, so it's all on the Lions here, isn't it? Can't believe the Lions are now in the top 2, top 3 after their middle of the year. Because I stopped doing the tips about the time the Lions beat the Giants beat the Lions by 90. Can't believe that game. That that would have been one of the wild games to have streamed. No, I'm going to go Brisbane by 38. But Suns will have to have a game in them that's okay because they still have they have the firepower, but I think they've checked out. Hawthorn, Collingwood. This is hard. Somehow the Pies are ninth, even though they've like won their last 6. My poll's now even. Well, it's too late. And we've got 80 odd in, so I don't think you need to sign in to vote. So just vote for, get more opinions here with the next one. I'm going to start another poll for this game because this is a hard one. I actually don't know. Probably Hawthorn. This is probably going to be Hawthorn. They can't draw again. They surely can't draw again. Hawthorn, Collingwood here. Second draw. Nah, I'm not going the draw. It's not an option. And even if it was, it wouldn't win. Hawthorn, all right, Hawthorn win. Hawthorn by 20. Port Melbourne. Uh, Port Adelaide are definitely not that bad. They're not as bad as what they see in the ladder. But that's good for them. They want to finish bottom 4. I don't think this will be a big margin. Hey, Carly, just joined the stream. Isn't this Suns Saints on a... It is a very odd fixture, Mason. Very odd. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. There are reasons why I think that. You can go back to see early on the stream. By the way, let me know if you've just joined in the last 5 minutes. Put an F in the chat if you've just joined the stream in the last 5 minutes. And may or may not have known that I was live randomly, because this is sort of random for a lot of people. All right, I'm going to go Melbourne by 22. Melbourne by 22. GWS West Coast. Who's your rising star pick? Jagger Smith now. I think you'd be the favourite for sure. Jagger Smith. West Coast by 100. West Coast upset again. This is the type of game the Giants could lose. Yeah, it is, but it's at home. It's at home for them, so you just go Giants. Not by 95, but we'll go a big win. A scarily big win. Dogs Blues. Be honest, like, this is also a hard game because the Bulldogs are a weird team that I don't know if they're good or if they're average. And that's kind of the same on the Blues. I don't think they're good. But like they're not. I don't know. Crap, this is hard. I'll put another poll here. You do usually do well against the Dogs, don't you? And the Bulldogs were the first team you beat this year in that that hot streak of form. But people are saying the Bulldogs. I don't know if it's because they think it or if they want it. I obviously would want it. I'd be watching this game very closely, probably. I'd probably rather stream this game as opposed to going to it if I was to react to it or like watch it. If I had to pick out of the one or the two. All right, Bulldogs win. And they'll win by a bit. So the Dogs, 14 wins, and how are Collingwood 9th? But it doesn't matter. They've got the draw on their sleeve, so it doesn't matter. Up their sleeve there. Essendon v Sydney. I'm going to just cut the bullshit and go Sydney by 64. All right, round 24. Throat's really dry. Holy crap. Damn. You're not beating Adelaide away. Lol. Crows by 60. Next round, Saints Suns at Marvel. What in the world is this fixturing by the AFL? I know Will's going to say the Suns, but the Suns are out of here. They're packing their bags. The Saints historically we play well against the Suns. We've lost our last two. The legend is back. Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I wasn't going the best in for most of the time I was away, but I needed that just to be ready to come back. So it's a slow return, but I have returned on the live stream. So hopefully you enjoy whatever this stream has become. I'm going to go the Saints, obviously. Let's be realistic, and I'm going to go Geordie's pick in 34 points. So that actually means that the Blues they're done. They're done. The Blues are done. The Giants, though, who do they play last round? Collingwood v Brisbane here. All right. It really doesn't matter. Collingwood will still be... Collingwood might be playing Adelaide in a wild card. Shit. Oh, my goodness. Can you believe it? It's getting spicy. Let's go. I get my money's worth 300 on Jags. That's if he wins. I'm not... I don't make I don't control the rising star votes, mate. I just have him as my pick. Collingwood v Brisbane. Who do we have here? I feel like Collingwood is stiff to be not considering how many wins they've had in a row. Win by 34, number 34 for the Suns. Last minute request to trade to Saints. That'd be good. On a side note, how good is it that Darcy Wilson signed for the Saints? That proves all of Lockie Miller's antics wrong, because he was telling me when we went up to Adelaide earlier this year that fucking Wilson, apparently Wilson met at Geelong and was confirmed to leave the Saints just about, but he knows nothing. He's not a reporter. He's Lockie Miller. He's a interesting bloke. Good guy though. Very good guy. But for this game, I think Collingwood probably lose, because I just still think Brisbane are better and they're finding form. Brisbane by 14. I think they stay at third. All right. Carlton Freo. I think Carlton won't win because they've got nothing to play for, so they just won't really have that much effort, or like the energy just won't be there. The energy levels won't be the same. I think Freo win by 42 points. I'm sorry. Tom Morris stole his report and it was wrong. Yeah, I know. That's true. Melbourne v Bulldogs. He actually did. No, genuinely, he genuinely sent a message out to Tom Morris. Melbourne v the Bulldogs. I think this game is actually deserving to be of a better time slot than what we got. The Dogs theoretically could go to 6th. Melbourne theoretically go 4th. So Melbourne still could be top 4 this year. I mean, probably Melbourne. Probably Melbourne by a bit because of the G. That's how I see it. But maybe by a close margin, 4 points. Dogs 8th. Adelaide 7th. Oh my God. Adelaide are going to finish 7th. What the fuck? I thought that was like confirmed that the Crows were going to be fine to finish top 6. I really don't want to be playing Adelaide away. All right, let's cut the crap. Geelong by 78, 82, 90. Actually, they will win by 100 here, because Geelong last round every year they always win by a lot. Adelaide by... Oh, this is big, because Giants could still make the freaking 8, but Adelaide, you know what? Just for the fun of it, we'll do a poll. Vote with your head, not your heart. Melbourne Bulldogs is a huge game and will shake up wildcard. So will bloody this game, won't it? Far out. If this is what happens in real life, and to be honest with you, Carlton are that shit. They beat the Saints and they still aren't near what needed to be in wildcard. So they're not good. I don't actually have that much worries over Carlton, especially if we beat them. Because even with us losing to Sydney, with the expected results going the way against Carlton, they're still only 10 wins. Does it feel weird that there'll be cricket during the footy season in Darwin? Um, no, because that's kind of the only time you can play cricket in Darwin. Adelaide, they picked Adelaide. Good, 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 good. I think they picked Adelaide here. I think we're good. Giants played crap last week. I had to work there and it was mostly Swan. Yeah, well, who was it? Someone said something about the Giants and the fact that every time they visit NG Stadium, they seem to dress up as seats, which I thought was quite funny. Crows crumble in August in big games. Yeah, but the Giants are really. I'd be fucking fuming if I watch this game and the Giants win. I reckon it'll be close-ish, but the Crows hold on 14 points. I'm listening to the poll. Wow, Adelaide's still 7th. Wait, what the fuck? How are Adelaide not in the top 6? I don't even think I've stiffed them in much of these predictions at all. Oh, man. I'd be fucking swap us with the Giants. I don't want to play bloody Adelaide first week. Actually, they aren't really good in finals, to be fair. All right, this game. Does Port Adelaide just get a good win to finish off their year? But then if they win, they finish 14th, and I don't think they get the compensation, if I'm not mistaken. So, do Port Adelaide tank here? But even if you tank against Essendon, you still probably win. Yeah, I know. Every NG game, the opposition genuinely has more fans. Bro thinks they're making wild. I don't think that, though, but that's what the predictions have it. And I didn't think Melbourne would finish 4th, but that's how it's gone. So put money on it, guys. I don't think Port would tank. But am I not mistaken? I haven't followed the whole situation that closely, but isn't it they need to finish bottom 4 to get? Is it Cochrane? Is that how it is? I think so. I might be wrong. Someone might know more than me. None of this is happening. Well, you're right. None of this will happen. I'm not going to get every prediction right. From what I can say, the Giants don't have a big fan base. Yeah, that's certainly not wrong, Kathy. I mean, logistically, Port Adelaide win by a lot, but I don't know. Essendon might want to win to guarantee 17th. D's are paying 15 to make top 4. Well, I might put actually no, but Hawthorn still have to play West Coast, so forget what I said. We'll just go Port because they probably win. I don't know if it matters, but now the Suns are bottom 4. Oh my god. North Melbourne will lose by a lot, probably, because I think they'll just drop their heads end of the year. They have nothing to play for. Sydney want to be sure of top 2. They probably already are, aren't they? 50 points. And then this is why I'm not a big fan of this last fixture Sunday, because why would you have West Coast Hawthorn? Why would you have West Coast Hawthorn? What's the point? I mean, at this stage into the ladder, Hawthorn need a top 4 finish, and they'll beat West Coast. They'll beat West Coast for a top 4 finish. They'll beat them comfortably. It won't even be a challenge. So there you go. Melbourne finished 5th. That's the top 4 that I think will happen. But Adelaide 7th actually could still happen. I don't know. I hope the Bulldogs can do something to finish 7th, because I don't want to be playing the Crows. I'd almost rather play Collingwood. We'll predict the wild card games and all that real quick. Realistically, yeah. I mean, it'd be a miracle if we go the whole year without beating a team ahead of us, and then we beat the Crows wild card. It'd be fun. I'd almost definitely go to this game actually, but I've got to go the Crows. Let's be honest. Bulldogs Collingwood. You probably go Collingwood. I probably would pick Collingwood. They've been more convincing consistently. I know the Dogs have been able to beat some of the sides above them. You go the Pies, yeah? Do you? Geelong from 9th to 6th in your predictions. Yeah, but they've got an easy finish there, Will. All right, so we move on now. So unfortunately, the Saints are knocked out. Freo Hawthorn. Freo. I know Hawthorn are trying to emulate Wolfie time now, which could give them a bit of an advantage if this game becomes close. But Freo win, surely. Melbourne play Collingwood. Ooh. Do Melbourne have the experience with this group? Or will the toll of playing that extra game favour Collingwood, or will it put them at a disadvantage? I'm not sure. Let's just wait for a few comments here. Freo v Brisbane Granny, 3-peat Lions because of poor finals experience. I hope not. But if the Lions play the Dockers in the grand final, I think the Lions win. Unfortunately. Pies. Okay, I think there's more. Actually, that's even. That's even. I almost need a poll for this, to be honest. This is even. This is quite even. All of these comments are like conflicting here. This is like tough to know. I think Collingwood have more comments, but let's just start a poll. This is going to be an interesting one. No matter who wins this game, I can't see him advancing further than the semis, though. I'd want the D's to win. Like, I'd want the D's to win. I'd probably back them because they beat them earlier in the year, and I think they're better at the G. But in finals, it's different. Collingwood will stand up. Young D's crump. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And Collingwood are a better defensive side. Defense does win your finals, doesn't it? It's 50-50 in the votes. Collingwood ahead, 50-50 still. How do I judge this? Do I just pick a time to stop? I'm probably going to have to go the Pies. I think they've just got a bit of a nose in front here. I'm going to go the Collingwood. Geelong Adelaide at the G. It's a weird game. It does feel a little bit unfair for the Crows to be knocked out in the first, well, technically second week. I think the Cats, they're gettable. They're very well gettable. And Adelaide at the G, I don't know. I really don't know. Adelaide beat Collingwood earlier in the year, didn't they, at the G? Cheers, Jake Star. Cats comfortably, says Will. I mean, yeah, I think the Cats, but I don't know. I don't think it'll be comfortable at all. I'll go Geelong. And then the Sydney play Brisbane here. Geez, this is a hard one. I mean, they're all hard now, aren't they? Because like Brisbane have that finals experience, and they typically play their best at this stage of the season. And Sydney, I don't know, they're falling a little bit. They're all saying Brisbane. No, I haven't claimed my Fiji trip yet. That wasn't the reason I've sort of been away for a while. That wasn't and even if it was only like 3 days, the trip. It's 3 nights accommodation, not 7 weeks. Brisbane. I'm going to go Brisbane then. I'm going to go Brisbane. All right. We move to the semis. Hawthorn, Collingwood, Sydney, Geelong. I mean, I could see the Pies winning this because they've got all these freaking games at the G, the lucky bastards. No, you actually need to get some sleep. Finn, thanks for looking out. I'll finish the stream when I finish this. We're not too far away. Cheers for the $5. Brisbane, Sydney, Lions are different in finals. Yeah, well, we're doing this game though, aren't we? Hawthorn, Collingwood. 7 weeks of combat. That would be so. We found out that the prize is worth around $4,000. You extrapolate that to 7 weeks. That's like 15 times the amount of stay. That's $60,000. That's more. That's worth more than what a lot of people make in a year. Hawthorn, Collingwood, Hawks. All right. fine. I do think Hawthorn win. I don't think they're worse than Collingwood. And then Sydney played Geelong at the SCG. The Cats are pretty crap at the SCG, I can't lie. They're not very good. I don't think this is their year. I don't think Cameron won't be fit. I just don't think. I don't think the Cats. I mean, people are saying Geelong. Provide reasonings though. Like I'd like to actually understand the thought process behind why you think the Cats. Swan straight sets. Historically, there is a team that does go out in straight sets, so I could definitely see Geelong winning. Yeah, true. But Geelong aren't top. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Sydney. Yeah, yeah, fine. I don't hate that. We'll go the Cats, but I probably would go Sydney. But I think that's where the run ends for the Dockers. Although the Dockers that they for the Cats, sorry, but I think the Cats could beat the Dockers because they have beat them here this year before, and then Brisbane Hawthorn at the Gabba. Brisbane at the Gabba in a prelim, you probably don't beat them. So I actually do think that Brisbane Hawthorn game is massive because Hawthorn probably need top 2 to play in a granny because they'll probably play Freo. If they played Sydney, that would be good for them. They would want to be playing Sydney. Break. Why does that the Freo text in chat have break in it? From I don't know. Got no idea why it says that. Elliot, I think Swans Geelong ever meant as dominant. Yeah, we've gone the Cats though. Freo Geelong. I mean, do we just bloody not? This isn't drama filled. It's late at night. Freo will beat Geelong, I reckon, and they play Brisbane. So I'll let you guys decide what you would want or what you would think, because I'm pretty sure most people want the Dockers. It'd be cool for the fairy tale run and they get their first flag, but if we're gonna be honest, like realistic, probably Brisbane, which would piss me off. Brisbane win it. Yeah, they're going to pick Brisbane, which is, I think, what Fidget had at the start. Terrible predictions would be Geelong. Well, you can make your own predictions by yourself, but it wouldn't be as fun. Oh, more people have Fremantle now. Chat, we've got 30 votes. Instead of putting them in the chat, also make sure you put your vote for the predictions so we get everyone gets involved. 4.5k. Well, if Lions do win, chuck me $100 donation. Stop at 35 votes. Well, it's 50-50 now, so next vote wins. You can't have a draw in a grand final. It's next vote wins from here. And now the votes have stopped. All right, cool. They're still split. Like, if you've just joined or you haven't voted yet, your vote influences the whole goddamn finish of this thing. All right, Fremantle win. Just like that. Freo in extra time. Freo in extra time. Because it was that close. That'd be so good. That'd be unreal. Wow. All right. There you go. Freo win in a grand final thriller. And that probably is what I would like to see. It would be a weird Fremantle Brisbane grand final but it probably will be an interstate grand final if Hawthorn don't make it. I don't see any other team challenging. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I wasn't expecting to do that at the end. It was more of a talk about where I've been and all that shit sort of stream. But of course, I couldn't help myself, like in previous times on the channel where I'd stream forever. But I'm gonna have to go, so I apologize. But I'll be back more consistently now. But it'll be a slow return. That's what I have promised, and it will happen. But good to be back. Thank you for everyone that joined. Great stream. Really did enjoy it. Yeah, just before I do wrap up, I'm I'm not sure yet exactly what I'll be filming, or I'm not promising anything yet as of now. But I think I'm most likely doing the free OV Bulldogs game because I don't have anything on that night, and I would prefer to watch it with you guys. I feel ready to do it. I feel like people might be interested, and it will be good fun. It might be a shit game, but it's better than not watching it or just sitting at home. So yeah. Cheers for watching. If you message me on Instagram, I'll try to get to you tonight. If not, tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, cheers. And if you're watching the replay until this stage into the stream, well, you're very loyal and dedicated, and I appreciate you. But yeah, I'll end the stream now. So cheers everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you soon enough. Won't guarantee very